All right, everybody, welcome back to the Sideshow. My name is Mingo.
This is Tony.
I'm Seabass.
And man, what a freaking windy week. Holy shit.
It was crazy over the weekend.
I haven't seen it that windy here since like, I don't know, late 80s? Early 90s maybe?
Maybe. Well, yeah, maybe.
I mean, because you're talking about like walls of sand. Like it's been windy, but you're like walls of sand.
We were going to a graduation party in Indio Saturday.
Okay.
And they were going to have a taco guy there. But my wife and I, we were Mexican food out.
Okay.
Because we went out to dinner with my son, and my son loves Mexican. It looks, from the outside, it's ghetto. This spot, you would never think that this place, and all it says on the window is bar. That's it.
Is that the one? Where's it at?
Vistachino and Gene Autry.
Oh, okay, okay.
Again, on the window, bar. That's it.
Yeah, that place looks hood.
Dude, looks mad hood.
Yeah.
But when you walk in...
Like you need a tetanus shot.
Dude, it's a different world once you walk in.
Really?
They got like thick-ass curtains, like, so back old school curtains.
So it's not hot.
Right, and then it keeps all the sun out. So it's like a casino. You don't know what time of day it is. It's real small. That's the only problem with it. It's really small. So
okay.
They have great food, limited menu, because it's really a bar.
Right.
We were going to go there. As we were going down Vistachino heading that way, they had just closed Vistachino because of the sandstorm.
So you just made it through?
No, we didn't make it through.
Oh.
The cops barely was in front of us, and he just flicked on his lights and stopped everybody.
Oh, man.
So we had to go somewhere else to get some food right quick.
Yeah, that was, and the next day there was shots of that AM PM right there on Date Palm and the freeway.
Yeah.
The big old sand dunes at the gas pumps and shit. I'm like, God.
Well, we made it to that graduation party, and we were coming home around, let's say, midnight, 1 o'clock on the freeway.
No. You skipped the whole part because you talked about they were going to have a taco guy. And you say he lives in North Indio, right?
Right. So
was the taco guy canceled?
No.
No?
No, it was windy as hell in his backyard, too. Poor taco guy.
So were they gritty?
I didn't eat.
Oh, that's right. You ate before you went.
You know, his house, the way it's positioned, it kind of sheltered it from the wind a little bit.
Okay.
Especially where it was set up to where you're going to go eat.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't too bad.
Okay.
But the fact that it was windy was
enough.
Yeah, it was enough. But on the way home, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, dude, we were driving like 20, maybe 30 miles an hour on the freeway. Because we couldn't see 10 feet in front of us.
That's terrible, dude.
It was bad.
I remember listening to the wind all night. Dude, my pool, it has to have about 1.5 inches worth of sand. Like, he cleaned it on Wednesday. And it was cool, looked good. I was about to get in it on Thursday, but I ran out of time, so I couldn't get in Thursday. And then it got windy. And then because it started off with just a really light, gentle breeze, you know what I mean? Like somebody's reading you a nice little good night story. It was a soft, gentle breeze. Nope, all of a sudden that shit came rip roaring through the backyard. Next day, boy, it was like Cuban coffee.
And the funny thing is with that too, you know how you used to say that I was bougie. My dog is mad bougie now.
Oh, wow.
Because she's like an inside dog now. Well,
right.
She's always been. My first dog with regard to this house, she was, like I said, we always threw her outside for everything. We were leaving outside. Could be 120 degrees outside.
Go find some shade.
Yep. This dog, So now with the winds, we'd open the door so she'd go to the bathroom. She'd run out, go to the bathroom because we made her. You know, she'd look outside and be like, I'm not going out there. And I yell at her, no, come on, go to the bathroom. And she'd run out, go to the bathroom, and run right back in. Bougie.
Mm. Does your dog bark when people come that shouldn't know?
No.
No?
No.
So she's not a guard dog at this point either?
Not yet, no. Mm. But she acts like it. Well,
because you get her high all the time, Tony.
No, she's very excited to see people.
Oh, okay.
But that excitement leads people to think that she's aggressive. So, like, we purposely, if somebody will ring the doorbell, especially my wife, she's got it down to a science. She'll, like, grab her by the collar and open the door. And my dog is trying to get to the person, and the person, like, takes a step back.
Right.
But not knowing she wants to kiss you. But they think, oh, shit, you got a pit bull, and it's aggressive.
Right.
So just to let them know, yo, don't come back in the middle of the night because this is what's waiting for you.
Right. That's hilarious.
I always wanted to do this with my first dog, and this one, not that I'm debating it, but I would like to take her to like a training school.
Okay.
To be what they call a working dog.
Right.
But
so she'll heal and do commands.
No, more like protect us, like on command. But I don't want to turn her into. I don't want her to grow up so fast, if that makes any sense.
It's a dog.
She's a puppy still.
What does a puppy turn into?
A dog eventually.
She grow up so fast. It's not like she's your kid. Not like you're gonna have to pay for it. Well, yeah, you have to pay for her college too. Apparently, Jesus.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things where you send her off for the month.
Really?
Yeah, one of them type of schools. And then when she comes back, she's like a whole different dog. That's what I'm afraid of. My wife is afraid of as well. You know, because she's cool. You know, she's playful and everything. But once you send her and she comes back, she ain't gonna be like that no more.
She gonna act all fucking Russian on you and shit.
Yeah.
German? Is it German? They give them German commands, right?
Yeah.
I think it's German.
But that's usually for German shepherds.
No, when they train them with that verbiage. That way, nobody else can scream it around them, and they do it.
I've never seen that. But
no,
I haven't either. But
well, I see it on those videos all the time. They'll tell them shit in German, and they right away. Fuck that.
That's our deal right now. But what's nasty now, and now I'm going to have to do something about it. Apparently, she had either gotten a cut, like on her hip, and it looked like a tick was growing on her.
Okay.
That's how small it was. Smaller than your pinky fingernail.
Okay.
And this is about maybe a year ago. It started to get bigger and bigger. And so we took her to the vet. And they're the ones that told us it was like a cut that somehow, I don't know the verbiage.
Got infected.
Maybe infected.
Began to fester.
I completely totally forgot what they called it. But it's growing bigger and bigger. Now, it's probably the size of, and the way it looks, smash 2, maybe 3 marshmallows together and burn them. Yeah, it's getting bad. And the problem is, now she's starting to gnaw at it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's starting to bother her. Because when we took her to the vet, they wanted like a G, close to a G to get rid of it, like to cut it off and shit like that. I was like, nah, she's good. But that was like 6 months ago when it wasn't as big. Now it's getting bad.
So now you're saying that you won't spend it that because before we had this conversation about how much you'd be willing to spend on the dog to fix her, you're like, whatever it takes. But now your kids are out of the house and you're like, well, she got a problem, but she'll be all right.
You know, I'm going to have to get it done. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And only because she's starting to gnaw at it. It's starting to get red. I think she might have even broke the skin already. So it's like, fuck. I'm going to have to make the move.
You just, hold her down and do that shit old school. Heat up a knife and just...
Get an X-Acto knife and just...
Yeah.
You know what I should do? Get one of Rob's roaches, give it to her.
Yeah, and let her get...
Yeah, and then just cut that shit off.
Take her down Thunder Alley and just... You know what I mean? What you do is you get you one of them flat irons and break it in half. That way you only have one side. Just burn it, bro. All you gotta do is cauterize it. That'll clean it all out and everything all at once. It'll be good.
Yeah. His dog's gonna kill
She might not like you after that. So yeah, send me to school. Let me learn how to attack. Watch.
And you know she's probably gonna have to rock the cone for a little while. It's a whole. They were going to be applying medicine, giving her. It's like, oh my god.
But the question is, when? Because I know I know you have things planned. So it's like, how are you gonna?
Good question, because we were really debating on how soon to do it, but we're going to be taking off in about 2 weeks. 2 more weeks.
And that shit will be healed in 2 weeks if they did.
And we might be having my mom dog sitter at her house, so there's no way we could do it and have my mom deal with it.
Yeah.
So she's gonna have to hold off for about another 3 weeks. And that's
She's gonna lose a leg and shit.
She might get third leg. It's getting so big.
She growing wings. Leave her alone. Fuck. So are you still? How much was your limit? Do you remember what you said?
No.
I think it was about 2,000.
That's what I think you said too. Two grand.
So you're halfay there. You're good with if it's
okay.
only
But here's the deal.
Oh, but that was a month. That was 6 months ago.
No. Yeah, that's one thing. And here's the other thing about that. I haven't told my wife this, so this is probably the first time she's hearing it. So I apologize, love. I'm thinking about taking her to one of these like 1,000 Palm spots, because I'm thinking it might be cheaper, because her vet is in Palm Springs,
Right.
and they want top dollar for stuff.
Well, of course.
So I'm thinking if I could bring her over here to 1,000 Palms, maybe they'll do it for like 200. You know what I'm saying?
When you say you want to bring her to 1,000 Palms, are you talking about taking it to the SP or just bringing her to 1,000 Palms and finding somebody that works on dogs? Like you went from like 1,000 to 200.
What's great too is the vet out here is missing his left shoe, so all you got to do is offer 100 and then a left shoe and you're good.
Yeah, you'd be all right.
Well, my first dog, we did that when we got her fixed. Or was it this dog? No, it had to be the first dog. We did that. She, her vet was in Palm Springs, and to get her fixed was X amount of dollars. And this spot right here on Ramon, Animal Samaritans, I believe it is.
Yeah.
It was like half the price.
A friend of mine owns a veterinary spot. It's called Pet Lux. They just opened it. They've been around for a little bit less than a year. They've got great reviews everywhere, and everybody that's talked about taking their pet there. So I'll give you his number and have you
What
give him
city
a
is he
call.
located in?
I want to say it's in Palm Springs.
Forget it. He's got to cover the overhead, kid. Come on, that rent. I need somebody from Coachella. 1,000 Palms. DHS.
Well, just be careful what part you take because you might not get your dog back. Just saying. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen
Yo,
to him. Just
it's grown so big they might cut the wrong limb off.
Right?
They might think that's a limb.
Really that bad, huh? Is it like an extra head? Is it like a...
It's getting pretty big.
So it's like a ball shape or is it what?
Again, think of a burnt marshmallow.
No, 3 marshmallows put together burnt.
Yeah. And when I say put together, like mushed together. So it's not like a round half ball type. It's
Right.
like a mush.
That sounds gross, dude.
It kind of is. I ain't gonna lie.
It's going to start smelling soon, too, dude.
Nah, she's clean.
Fuck it, she can hang on a little bit more. Don't worry
She's
about
gonna
it.
have to. She ain't got a choice at this point.
Fuck. You gonna be out of town. Your mom gonna call you. Hey, so your dog got a
It
wheel
exploded.
in the back leg.
and here's another funny part: is our buddy Luis,
Yeah.
his daughter, is really into animal care. She actually works for a vet now.
Okay.
At this point in time, when that first happened, we had her dog sit. Like she would come in the morning, take her for a walk. We were maybe it was our Cancun trip. I don't remember. She would come back in the afternoon, feed her, all that kind of good stuff. This is what we were looking for at the time.
Right.
And she actually took a picture of it and sent it to me. It was like, hey, I saw this, just to let you know, she got this going on. And I was like, yeah, we noticed that, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, but it's a dog. It'll be fine.
I'm actually going to try and find it right now. Yes, kid. July 27th, 2021. So,
Almost a year.
yeah, and actually it was a little bit bigger than... Here, I'm going to show you a picture of it. Now, imagine this. These thingamajigs are as big as 4 of them. Okay? Now,
Okay.
Now it's as big as, again, 3 marshmallows put together. And it kind of looks the same.
How dare your dog got rosacea? It's growing mushrooms, bro. What is that?
I don't know. Again, it's something like I don't know. I don't remember what they called it.
Oh my God.
It was they think she got cut. And not that it got infected, but it just didn't heal right.
So like keloids?
Yeah, something like that.
So that's not what why would she be biting at fucking scar tissue that hasn't been there? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Because keloids are just, it's scar tissue. So like it basically kind of implodes.
Okay.
So like, let's say you had a scar on you and it didn't heal right, and it kind of just like.
Well, that's probably what happened with her.
Yeah, but it only grows so much. It doesn't keep growing.
Dog, I've seen keloids before on the earlobe. I've seen that shit like 4 inches long on some dudes.
That's just where they put the fucking hole to stretch it out. That's the bottom piece of the ear.
I've seen that shit.
Have you ever seen that before, Sebastian?
Nope.
On a dog?
Never.
So anyway, she like I said, she works for a vet. See if I can get the hook up there. Poor dog.
Fuck.
Poor dog. Need to go back to a couple things from last week.
Okay.
We need to discuss.
Yes,
First
we're going to talk about GFI.
Yes. But that's a whole different thing. Well, let me talk about this first.
Okay.
Remember my hotel that I got sent to that you said was like a one step?
70 fucking floor
Okay.
lobby. Whatever.
Well, one thing that I failed to mention to show the kind of place this was remember the second set of elevators that you would take to your actual floor?
Yes.
Okay. This is how pimp this place was. When you got to those elevators, you had to swipe your key like how they do credit cards now. Just tap it, so it acknowledges
that you
got
stay
a room.
there. Right. Okay.
And then you actually put the floor you're going to, and then the screen tells you which elevator out of the 6 is coming for you.
6 elevators?
Yeah, 3 on each side.
God damn! All right.
And so you're pretty much on the elevator by yourself because it's going directly
straight
to
your
floor.
floor. You ain't got to worry about people stopping,
That
kids rubbing the
shit's
fucking.
it was dog. I was like, this is nice, real nice.
And they didn't charge you extra for it.
No,
That's what's nice.
I still got to call them. I haven't called them yet to see what the problem was.
It's nice that they gave you the upgrade without the upgrade.
You think it was an upgrade?
From the DoubleTree to staying on the 70th fucking floor and taking a private elevator.
Had some floors too. I mean, you got to remember out there, everything is high rise.
Yeah, but come on.
Yeah, it was a nicer hotel. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, that's like some fucking James Bond shit where you got to go to the 70th floor, check in, have them take all stuff to the room, garments, bogs. Fuck that, dude. That's crazy.
But back to the GFI. Oh,
so you were on the 36th floor?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't even remember anymore.
So was it swaying that bad on that floor, or just when you were at the 70th?
I didn't look out the windows when we got to the room, but because, like I said, the entire wall behind them was glass, so all you saw were like the city lights.
Oh, nice.
And it could have been just my hallucinating that it was swaying because I'm so high up.
Right.
So I could be wrong on that.
Right on. Okay. So GFI, go.
GFI. Last week, when we spoke about the GFI plug,
Right.
you asked Seabass if he knew what it was.
Right.
And I was like, don't. He said no. I was like, good. Don't answer that. We're going to talk about this.
Okay.
Did he ask me that?
Yes. And you said you didn't know what it was.
I don't remember him asking me.
Do you know what it is now?
No.
We didn't discuss it. You asked me not to.
Okay. This is what I wanted to talk about. Why in our school systems do our students, which we were at one point, why is there not a class on just general knowledge of living on your own? Let's call it that. Whereas what a GFI is, Whereas, I was just thinking about this, when I was thinking about this daughter, because in a sense, I almost feel like I failed my daughter for something as simple as that, as you've failed Seabass, to not teach him what this is.
He failed himself. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding.
But again, it's more of, why wouldn't this be taught in schools? For example, when you're screwing two pipes together, for water purposes,
right?
We have to use a Teflon tape.
Right.
Why is it something as simple as that not taught in schools? A GFI, what the purpose of a GFI is, because they're going to be in every home. And what do you do if all of a sudden you don't have electricity in this plug?
Yeah, how do you troubleshoot it?
Right. I mean, instead of calling an electrician that's going to charge you $150 to come out and push a button.
Right.
Something as simple as these items, why don't we have a class for that?
Well, because there's so much shit that we could actually teach our kids. That
when you say we
as parents,
okay,
can teach our kids, or that can be taught to people as they're growing up, children, whatever the case may be. Right.
Right.
At what point do we stop putting it on the educators and take responsibility and teach our children? Again, we already said we failed, so it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying.
But one could say the same thing about home economics when they teach you how to cook and bake.
No, well, but that was a different time, though, Tony.
They still have that, though.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Did you have a cooking class in your school?
I did.
Did you really?
But it was different. It wasn't just home economics. It was nutrition. It was how to eat a healthy diet. And
you didn't do good in that class?
Fuck you.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, but did they actually teach you how to cook?
Yeah. Every Friday we cook something.
Case in point. I took home ec in
Nellie Kaufman, or middle school.
Was it middle school or was it high school?
I remember cooking in middle school.
I kind of remember cooking as a freshman. No, I'm just kidding. I kind of remember cooking as a freshman. But there's also...
but we also had typing classes back then in middle school, where was rooms just filled with fucking typewriters.
Right.
Just like they...
Okay, again, because they felt that would be a skill needed in your adulthood. Auto mechanics. That was an elective, though. So was home ec, I guess. But still.
But auto mechanics is so broad. But honestly, I'll tell you like this, dude, being an auto mechanic's like being a fucking doctor. Because you can't look at it and be like, oh, it's this. They do just like a doctor does. Hey, well, you know what? It might be this. So I'm going to check that first. And then they check it. We're like, oh, no, we replaced that. Didn't work. We got to, colonoscopy again. Oh, got to do another fucking MRI. Same shit. But it's a knowledgeable guess. It's a guess based on what they've already learned. So you can't, like, mechanics can't be, there's certain basic things. Like, I remember one time, him and Milo, they were with me up north, and my car wouldn't start. And so I popped the hood and it had the little crusties around it. And I was in a hurry.
On the battery.
On the battery, yeah. You know how you get the little
terminals?
Yeah. It was corroded. I didn't have the brush and shit to clean it, right?
Right.
So I go inside, grab a soda, grab a Coke, and a bottle of water. Okay. So you go inside and you pour Coke on the fucking power terminals, wet it off, pour a little bit more on there, and let it eat it away. Next thing you know, my car starts. And both of them like, what the fuck? Listen, those are just little things this is why you guys need to come spend time with me, so I can show you all these little shits and tricks and things that we grew up learning.
But then when we go out there to help them, we get fucking yelled at.
I'm showing you the tips and tricks that I learned growing up. You want to help? Yeah, go stand over there. But those are things that you're not gonna be able to teach somebody until they come up. At least as a parent.
But I would think that one of the purposes of school is for a person or a student to gravitate towards something that they might pursue. Okay, they teach history first of all to show us what things that happen in history.
Right.
However, somebody could be like a history buff,
but they show us white history. They don't show us global history. The problem with not the problem, but the thing with history is that it's written from perspective. So, like, American history is written by Americans, so they're going to tell you, hey, we fucking killed it in this fight, and we did this, and we did that, and we did this. Right? When I took Chicano history, they wrote the history from the Mexican perspective. So, like, in Texas, when they were fighting for, what was that? Alamo, it was a totally different story. And about how Davy Crockett was cowering behind a fucking a table hidden in the kitchen.
I hate to break this to you, but they taught us that in U.S. history too.
That he was cowering behind.
He hid behind a table. You could see the fucking.
You couldn't just let
the
me.
blast
you couldn't
shadow.
just
No,
fucking
I
let
couldn't.
me have it.
Nope.
You sorry son of a. I'm just kidding. But I don't remember that in history, but I didn't really fucking pay attention.
I didn't fuck with history that much,
I didn't really give a shit about that. So kind of like, whatever, okay, it happened.
That's
whatever,
why all
whatever.
three of us are different.
Yeah.
But okay.
But I'll tell you what they do need to teach is you're right. They need to teach, and it's a lost art. Nobody writes checks anymore, but you and grandparents.
Yeah. You and every other 60-year-old on the planet.
I just wrote one this morning, but go ahead.
But like, how to bank. And how those things work. How credit works.
Yeah.
That's huge, right?
That's 1 week alone of class.
Right.
Credit cards, mortgage rates, car,
right.
APRs, loans.
And it would be cool is if when they started that class, they played it with like Monopoly money. And every time they came to class, at the end of the day, they'd get paid. And then the next day, they'd have to pay to come into class. They'd have to, whatever it was. They had to pay for that lesson. So they had to manage their money.
Yes,
their fake money. That'd be great, right? Sorry, I bought cocaine last night with fake money. I'm out. But they should have a class like that. Like that totally makes sense, right?
Budgeting your money.
Yeah. Hey, everything costs. You want rent? You're gonna have to have first and last. You got to water, electric, blah blah blah. Teach people how to fucking write on an envelope, dude. There's so many kids I've come across that don't know where to write their name, where to write who it's going to, where to put the fucking stamp.
When my daughter got her apartment. That first day, the agent brought us to the apartment. It was like, okay, check it out. Do what you got to do. So my daughter's like, what are we doing? And I was like, well, come on, I started opening up all the windows, opening up every cabinet, every drawer. She's like, well, what are we doing this for? I said, because if it doesn't open or if a cabinet is broken, A, you can get it fixed now because you didn't do it. And B, 2 weeks from now when you find it, oh, well, you broke it.
Right.
Because it was fine when you moved in.
Yeah,
or else you would have told us something.
You might not see no bugs on the counter, but you can see them.
Turn on all the lights. Make sure you got hot water. How's the toilet run? And she was like, if you weren't here, I'd have just been like, okay, thank you, bye.
Right.
I mean, these are the kind of things that a GFI, something as simple as a GFI that will cost you almost $200 to have an electrician come out should be taught.
And the dumb part is that, or the off part about that though too is, how fucked up is it that you can call an electrician? Hey, you know what? I was using my blow dryer. It shut off. Can you come check it? Okay, well, have you checked the circuit breaker? Oh, were you in your bathroom? Yeah. Hey, do you have a little red and black button there? Yeah. All right, push this button.
Okay, now, with that being said, I get it. However, you can't do that. on a business call. Because what happens if she accidentally shoves her wet finger into one of the slots? Okay, and I'm just saying, now she's suing the electrician because he told me to do this.
Right.
Your dad? Okay, push the button.
Yeah. Well, the fucked up part is you're absolutely right. How many people don't understand that, dude, you can't touch fucking electricity with wet hands. They don't stand in water if you're going to fucking touch electricity. Like all these little things that to us is common sense because we knew and we were taught that shit because our dads knew how to handle that kind of shit. So we were always there watching them. Right?
Right. And when I bought my first house, I was white collar worker.
Right.
Bought my first house, had the water turned on, and front yard there was a leaking water hose spigot. My stepfather was with me, and luckily he knew to solder it, all that kind of good, because I wouldn't have had a clue.
Right.
Now, I forgot where I was going with this.
Learning how to fix shit. Your first house.
My first house.
White collar.
White collar.
Luckily, your stepdad was there to help you out.
Yeah, I'm at a loss. I don't know what the point I was trying to make.
Oh. Well, you had somebody there to teach you.
Yeah.
To help you out, basically.
Fuck, I had a great point. Lost it.
I mean, I remember when I was living in this house and my parents left. And they let me stay at that house while they were living up north. And the shower, because it was on a septic tank,
okay,
it would have problems sometimes draining. So, and they knew that before they left. Like there was a problem. Well, it started going to where the water wouldn't drain and there was like shallow water in the bathtub all the time. So I thought, hey, Dad, what do I got to do? It's fucking water. It's not going down. Can I call somebody? He says, well, you can, but do you have the money? No. All right. So grab a shovel. Like, motherfucker. So I had to grab a shovel and I had to go dig out about 3 feet down and a trench wide enough where I could fit my fat ass in it so that I could get under it to see where it's leaking. And again, this is before, cell phones with cameras. And my dad spoke fixing shit backwards as opposed to the way when I try to tell somebody how to do something, I do it from the get-go. All right, so if this is what you're looking at, then you're going to do this, and then this should happen, and then you're going to be able to do this. And I work my way through it surgically, right? My dad, because he knew it, hey, mira, so you're going to do this, y luego te va and then when you get, and then right there. And I literally those in those words, like he couldn't, hey, you're gonna grab the pipe, you're gonna turn it this way because it's gonna do this. You're gonna need another one to do this, but be careful, don't turn it too much because it could break. Like you're like all these different things. I'm like, well, fuck, dude, if I can break it, why are you wanting me to? Right. Because then I'm more fucked. You know what I mean? So I'm under the house at this point, and I fucking hate plumbing with a passion. Hate it. I've always had bad luck with plumbing. Like I hate it. So I was able to get under there and at least drain it and kind of figure out what was going on with it. He said, hey, you know what? I said, I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. I said, I got it drained. I said, but I don't know what I need to do. And I was already frustrated because I can't understand him because he doesn't give clear instructions but my dad is the kind of guy that he could look at it and he'd stand back and look at it. All right, I know what I need to do and then go in there and fix it. But if he can't see it, because we speak backwards to each other, he doesn't see what I'm seeing. He doesn't understand it. He calls it something different. To him, it works different. You're not talking about the same thing. We were talking the exact same thing. I was just using the verbiage I know. And because he was a building inspector and had done all this bullshit, he had different words to use. We were saying the same fucking thing, but he couldn't tell me how to do it the way I was explaining it to him. And I couldn't explain it to him the way he wanted me to. So finally, he just, hey, you know what? Let me call so-and-so. There's a plumber that lives right behind you. Let me see if I can get him to go over and help you out. So about an hour later, the guy came by and he ended up fixing it. and I wasn't working at the time, and he had me help him out. Bro, I went and worked with that motherfucker one day because he was working here in Thousand Palms. He said, "Hey, I need you to dig a trench from here to," it was probably about 30 feet, dude. He said it needs to be 18 inches deep, about a foot wide. It's like, all right. Well, the first 6 inches, it's not bad. But the first time you hit a fucking rock, you're fucking digging a Volkswagen-sized hole just to pull that fucking 2-ton rock out of there. Dude, that fucking 30-foot trench took me about 3 fucking days, bro. That shit was...
You know how you said your dad sat there and looked at it for 5 minutes and, okay, now I know what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm the same way.
I could tell.
And the funniest shit is because like, let's say I'm fixing something. I got to replumb something. I'll get on the floor, look at it for a while. Know exactly, okay, I'm going to make a turn here. I'm going up at this point. I'm going to tee off there. And I'm picturing it all in my head.
Right.
And when I was trying to teach Robert at this point in time when he was working for me, he couldn't get it. He would always not yell, but he'd be like, man, you just going to sit there Indian style. I know you. You're just going to sit there for Indian style for about 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, bro, I'm trying to figure it out. You're going to sit there, you're going to cross your legs like an Indian, and you're going to sit there and just stare at it. I'm like, well, dude, you got to know what, before I need to know where I'm starting, and I need to know how I'm going to finish.
Right.
And he just couldn't grasp that concept.
Yeah. But I to some degree, I'm that way, but things click on certain things, click a little faster than that. So I'm like, all right, so I had to get from there. Okay, blah, blah. All right, cool. Let's go. Let's get it done. You know what I mean? And I could put that together. Maybe not faster or better, but like I can see it faster that way. Remember I used to talk about how I could do puzzles, or I could do. Did I ever tell you about that?
No.
Like those word searches where you have like all the letters on. I can do those like that. Like I sit there and I'll find the first word and I'll mark it, and then I can, because they all branch off of that. So you start to see like the words just pop out of that screen for me, and I can just fucking mark them off and I'm done lickety split. I can go through a book of those in a couple hours, just going from one to the next like nothing. So it's kind of like that, like where you could, okay, well, kind of like you're talking about, like sit there, okay, well, blah blah blah.
Now,
blah.
when you said that you hate plumbing, it reminded me what I was thinking about in regards to my stepfather.
Okay.
At that point in time, he was teaching me about, what he actually wound up doing.
Right.
Is he took his torch, took the hose bib off, like he sweated it. It's called sweat.
Right.
He took it off. Now the pipe is just sticking out of the wall, and he actually he put it back on with fresh solder.
Right.
That's what he did.
Okay.
So at that point in time, I couldn't grasp what he was doing. He was teaching me, but because I wasn't in that world,
you didn't understand
that verbiage. I no clue on what he was doing.
Right.
And what he was trying to teach me.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't frustrating. It was more like, I'm not getting it, so why are you wasting your time trying to teach me?
Well, but that's the thing, though. It's frustrating because our parents, that generation, didn't know how to communicate. Men didn't need to know how to communicate. Fucking watch and learn it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And if you can't, then just fucking call me when you need some shit, because you're too fucking dumb to learn it by watching.
Don't get me wrong. He was trying to teach me. And it wasn't that it's not that he wasn't doing a good job at it, but it was like, okay, you need to take your brush, clean this off real good, because if you get any type of dirt, the solder's not going to take. You're going to have a leak.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm never going to have this torch. I'm never going to have this solder. Right. I'll just call you next time it happens. But bringing that back to it being taught in school, I would think that in this, what do we call it? Home economics class, that you would find those kids that did interest them. Right. And that plumbing is my thing. I'm interested in that. Right. I get that. I understand that. So I just think, again, you're teaching history, and there's a history buff. Right. You're teaching mathematics. This person goes into finance. Let's teach these things to these kids, and who knows? You might. Here's a guy that's going to be a plumber. Right. Nothing wrong with being a plumber. back, and again, let's go back to the beginning of what I said. Sea bass.
Oh,
If the kitchen sink was leaking,
yeah.
do you know how to turn the water off to the house?
It's back here, right?
I don't know.
Yep.
Your shut off is in the back of the house?
We have. Well, you have the main.
Your shut off is in the back of the house?
Yes.
For the house.
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you want me to know that, Tony? Why do you want so badly for me not to know that?
If what else can happen? Oh, gas leak. You know how to turn off the gas?
That I don't know.
Okay. This is what I'm talking about, but how do we not teach how does school not say, okay, you're gonna get a house? Here's a gas meter.
Right.
Shut off.
Okay.
And there's sometimes they put a lock around it. Because if they have to cut off your gas, they'll put you have sprinklers?
No, took them all out.
Okay. When you have
Not if the valves were leaking, but
you
I
see
know
what
how
I'm
to
saying?
work them.
Because the valves sometimes they'll stay open and your sprinkler's going all day.
Right.
Would you know what to do? You know, it's okay, here's a simple sprinkler.
Skilled labor that this next generation has no idea how to do because they've been so many people have been pushed to go to college and find what they would consider top paying jobs,
Right.
instead of going and doing a skilled trade. And some skilled trades will pay really, really good money. Like there was a girl that was on TikTok or something that was talking about, she went to school, got her 4-year degree, and has $20,000 in debt. Her husband didn't graduate high school, learned the trade, and makes over $200,000 a year. Just 4 times what she makes. And she's got a college education. So not everything, not like, and they say that some of the top billionaires and millionaires in the world never had a high school education. They never graduated high school, but they had a passion and understanding for business, and had a no slow down attitude and didn't let anything get in their way of their success. And so there's something to be said about that. But you're absolutely right. There has to be something that's done in school that gives that baseline of life, like credit. Like if we would have learned credit and how it really works young, life would be different.
Totally different.
And learning generational wealth at that young age, totally different.
Because I can guarantee you, if it was laid out in front of an 18-year-old, okay, you got a credit card? You think you're fancy? Okay, let's buy you some new Jordans on paper.
Right.
Let's buy you this car stereo. Let's buy you $600 worth of clothes. Okay, now, after 1 month, this is what borrowing that money from that credit card, because that's essentially what you did,
Right.
This is what's going to cost you. And the second month, and the third month. It will really open a lot of kids' eyes that, wait a minute, I shouldn't even be buying this stuff on credit.
I don't know if that's a true statement. Because I don't think that at that age, 16, 17, 18, that kids understand money that way. Do I have enough money to put gas in my car to get me to the party? Do I have enough money to buy the guy in front of the gas station a 6-pack when he gets me a 12-pack? Do I have enough money for weed? Do I have enough money for pizza at the party or whatever we're going to do?
Okay, now, but with that being said, the reason why is because they're not being taught this.
I don't.
And back to what you said, if you did it with Monopoly money and literally put it in front of them, okay, here I'm gonna give you. Let's say you made $2,000 for the month of work.
Right.
You spent this much money on clothes and Jordans. Oh, and you got this much money left over. Okay, let's go to month 2. Here's another $2,000 for your pay. Oh, but wait a minute, you got to pay this.
Yeah, you got to pay rent.
Wait a minute, you got to pay this. What are you left with? Okay, you want to go to a party? That's what you're going to party with. You got Christmas is coming up. figure it out.
Right.
And then go to month 3. Again, if you plant it, at least plant it in, as a seed,
Right.
at least they kind of know what they're getting into once they go into the real world.
Right. You know what? It would be kind of fun to do a class like that. And I wonder how well it would work to be able to say, okay, so, today's your first day. At the end of the first week, we're going to give you your first $500 for the week that you're making. Well, whatever minimum wage is, right? At that point.
Right. Well, what about this? How about this? First day of this class. Okay, teacher hands out a form to everybody. What do you want to be when you grow up? Just write it down. What job do you want when you grow up?
Right.
And then she takes that
And pays them accordingly.
and says, okay, now everybody whip out your phone, because everybody's got a phone. I want you to find out the average pay for this line of work. And we're going to figure shit out from there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just...
And then I think you let them take the money with them out of class, because some motherfuckers, I lost my money. Oh, well, I don't know what you're going to do, because you got to buy school supply. You got to do this. You got to do that. All by the end of the week. And you don't get paid again for another week. So what are you going to do?
Yep.
You kind of, you know what I mean? You play the game that way. But the other problem with that is going to be parents, because the parents of our generation, well, what the fucking teacher tell you? Well, then do it. That shit's gone. You know what I mean? What? The teacher told you what? She wouldn't give you any more money because you lost your money. And she wouldn't give you any more money. Yeah. The world ain't gonna give you any more money because you lost, $50. You figure it out, right? Borrow it from a friend. Put it on your credit card, and then that's where you start. You're okay. Well, look, because of your choices, this is where you are. You're ending up upside down.
And another thing that I thought about in regards to this whole thing,
I want to be a teacher now.
remember how important it was for a student to learn cursive handwriting?
Yeah.
Is that even a thing anymore?
No.
It's incredible how so much focus was put on cursive handwriting.
When we were growing up?
Yeah, and you were graded on how neat your S's were.
Yeah.
Your lower and uppercase F's. Dude, what a waste of time.
Yep. And you couldn't turn in a paper written in just
Print. Yep.
print. It had to be in cursive.
And had to be legible.
And it had to be in pen.
Oh my God.
In high school, it had to be in pen.
And I don't know. I remember my mom teaching me, at this point in time.
Right.
And she would put dots, and you'd have to follow the dots for the letters.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Colossal waste of time.
Shit. Could you imagine? Now they should replace that with coding and teach kids how to code. That's the fucking future.
Yeah.
Teach them how to build fucking phone apps. Who's going to be the next creator of the Candy Crush? I mean, how stupid is that game, and how many people? I mean, you used to say your mom was fucking on that all the time.
She would get to the point where she couldn't play it anymore because there were no more levels to go to.
Serious?
Dead serious.
Like, that's time consuming. And people just sitting there, blah, blah, and then that was equivalent to like Roblox, and what was the other one? The Minecraft, where you had to go buy shit so that if you didn't want to wait, you had to buy shit to move forward or build or do whatever.
No.
No,
Minecraft isn't like that.
Minecraft's not like that.
Roblox is.
Okay. So not Minecraft, but Roblox is like that.
I don't know Roblox.
Yeah,
Your kids are grown up anyways.
Were you into Pokemon?
I was into a different game, but it was like that. It was like all the monsters and shit, but it was a little more tactile. It came with cards. You remember this? And it had little plastic balls, and the cards were magnetic.
Oh.
So you'd roll the balls onto the card, and it would sit on one specific spot on the bottom of the ball. It had a magnet, and it would open up into this little monster.
It was called Digimon, right?
No, it was called Bakugan.
Oh, Bakugan, yeah. You ever saw those?
No.
Yeah, so they were like these little balls that were kind of like almost like Transformers, because as soon as it landed on that card, it would explode open into whatever
A
monster
card
it
would
was.
explode open?
No,
No,
you had the card, and the card was magnetic. And you'd roll the little plastic ball, and on one side of the ball, it had a magnet in it. So when it landed on the magnet, it would open up into the little monster. The ball would.
so like Pokemon, it was just throwing cards, right?
I don't know.
And
Yeah.
you had to have a card.
Your
and your
card
card
had
had
a
to be
specific
better. And,
amount of hit points, and the other person had a, and other cards would be more powerful than other cards because you had a water card that was going against a fire card.
I'm gonna fuck you up right now. You remember playing Pogs?
No.
No?
Pogs?
Yeah, Pogs. They were like the little, a little bit bigger, like bigger than bottle caps. They were like $50 or whatever. It was like playing. You remember playing quarters?
Yeah.
Did you ever play quarters? So
No.
somebody would flip a quarter right, and then you'd have to slam your quarter, like hit it with the edge from standing up, and try to flip the quarter.
Oh, no. I thought quarter is the drinking game.
No. When you never played that either?
No.
God damn, Tony. You know what these kids missed out on? Pencil fighting.
What's pencil
You never
fighting?
did that either? Get the fuck out.
What's pencil fighting?
Where you take your pencil and pat.
Oh,
Somebody else-
yeah. Okay, yeah.
And I remember I learned how to do it like that. So
Where
pat.
you try to break somebody else's
Hell
pencil?
yeah.
I remember that.
We didn't call it pencil fighting. I don't remember what we called it. But
I don't
we did that
remember
too.
it being called pencil fighting.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not. I just,
right. I used to. Cabrón, where are all the pencils I bought you? Mama, I got twice as many. Look.
I do remember.
Remember there was this and when I was in 7th grade, it was this big old thing where everybody bought rubber bands, and they would all fold up paper and just shoot each other walking through like they banned rubber bands at our school. Teachers couldn't have rubber bands.
Jesus.
That there was another thing called fish hooking.
Where you just grab somebody in the. Oh. What was it?
No. Boys would do it to boys and girls would do it to girls. You walk up from behind somebody, put your hand like this, and just grip the crotch as hard as you fucking could.
That's different.
Yeah, it's
Not saying I did it, but
We used to cheat
I know
hit
that
each
it
other in the
happened.
nuts all the time.
yeah, sack tapping.
Yeah. You used to do that shit all the time.
What other weird
else
shit
do-
happened at our schools? A lot of drugs.
I think our generation was the last trash can generation.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Too.
Did you say trash cans?
Yeah, you remember like when freshmen came in and you get them, throw them in like that. Dude, that stressed me out that first year of high school. Like I went to school ready to fight. I thought I was going to be getting put in
Don't
trash
get me
can.
wrong. I was going to school ready to fight too, freshman, but I don't remember anything like that serious.
Anxious like a motherfucker. Well, I never stood around trash cans too long. Like didn't stare at nobody too long.
I was actually talking to Manuel maybe today. He had his son with him. His son is going into middle school.
Okay.
And now, at least out there, I don't know how it is here. Middle school is 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Really?
Fuck
Yeah.
that.
I don't, dude.
I don't agree with that at all.
I don't at all either. There's a big difference between a 5th grader and an 8th grader.
Yeah, big time.
But one of the questions I asked him, and I'll ask you, did you have lockers in your school?
Only for PE.
Huh. Remember, I asked Manuel, I was like, my kids didn't have lockers, so I figured I don't know how Arizona was. He's like, yeah, nope, no lockers.
There were lockers in the hallways of the middle school, but they didn't let us use them. They didn't let anybody use them.
Dude, all my shit always stayed in my locker. I never took my shit home at all. At all.
I remember, I remember going into 7th grade, and they would give you your locker assignment before you started school.
Right.
And they, like a few days before school, let's say the week before school, you could actually go familiarize yourself with the school, go check out your locker, make sure it works.
Right.
And I remember going there with my uncle from New York with magazines that I had cut out pictures that I was going to tape to the inside of my locker. Yeah. A lot of drum stuff, kids' pictures.
Yeah, my dad wouldn't. Nah, you'll figure it out.
Well, luckily, my middle school was in walking distance.
Oh, okay. Well, and then they had, I think my first year in 7th grade, I had the bottom locker.
I've never had a bottom locker.
Oh, fuck that, bro. People trying to be funny, try to drop shit on you. Yeah, they did that shit. They did that shit one time. Like, fuck that. But yeah, mine was like right down the main corridor. Because I think, if I remember correctly, I was like, so like if you walk in Nellie Kaufman, okay, so what street is that it's on? Do you know?
No.
So like, let's say you're at the front of the school, right? Where it had the
Right.
big loop around and it had that little stadium thing, right? So if you're looking at the stadium and you go right, you're going to go into the main building. Okay, so in the main building, to the left were the offices where all the principal and all that bullshit was. And then you'd go down about halfway through the building. To the right was where all the typewriter classes were at, right? And then to the left was the library. I'd be like, you know that room where they keep all the books? And just past that, on that left, was where my locker was. Yeah, I fucking hated that shit was on the bottom. But
What?
in
Like,
the gym, I had one that was like, like chest height, so I was cool there.
Yeah, all my lockers have been chest height, luckily.
Yeah, I'd be damned if I got one on the bottom in gym class. No, I'm cool. Bend down to get your shit and your dick height with everybody. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool.
so did you have to lug all your books to every class and then back to home?
No. We only ever bought or got our books on the first day. We'd have to lug them back to the car, and then you kept books at home. And then they had textbooks there in class.
Because my kids, and man, you said this too, like their backpacks used to just be completely packed with books.
Yeah, fuck that.
So that's when all the kids started lugging around the instead of having backpacks, they had
Like
the
the
ones with
luggage?
wheels and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. Fuck that, bro. That's bullshit. I hate it. Were you a 2-strapper or a single strap?
Single, kid, come
Right?
on.
You couldn't, just like on Jump Street, right? 21 Jump Street, it's single strap, bro. Single strap. Gotta be cool.
Jan Sport,
Yup.
single strap.
And it was the green with the leather on the bottom. Usually.
No, I always got black.
Did you get black?
Always.
I had a black one too, and I used that through middle school and part of high school, and then at some point I just gave up bringing books back and forth.
My son, I don't think my daughter did. He used to get, like fancy backpacks for school.
Really?
There's a company, I think it's like Herschel or something like that.
Hurley?
No, that's skater stuff. Herschel, dude, his backpacks were like $100, and I'd be like, "Yo, what's up with a JanSport, kid?" And he was like, "No."
Wow. Yeah, that's Milo. Milo was like that. Say, hey, well, I got a JanSport. Yeah, I don't really know. Like,
Damn, I wish I remember the name of the. And the
That was
reason
the same kid that wore colored skinny jeans.
yeah.
Red, lime green, light blue,
yeah, I couldn't do that.
Dude,
like the Jew on fucking Big Bang Theory.
I never watched.
Wallowitz.
Wallowitz. I knew that kid was going to be fucking problems for
Bless
me.
you.
When we were living up north, we were living in Hayward, and we used to go to Burlington Coat Factory.
I fucking knew you were going to say that because I remember that shit too.
Now, the Burlington Coat Factory in the Bay Area is way different than the Burlington Coat Factory here in Palm Springs. And what I mean by that is that the Burlington Coat Factory in the Bay Area is ghetto. Like, what was cool though was like they had fat man sizes, so I can go in there and I can get me like, cool shit in my size. But then, like when they would come, all right, well, let's go get you clothes. Let's go to Burlington Coat Factory because I can get you a lot of shit because it's inexpensive and shit you're not gonna get down there. So you'd be cool, right? Man, I took Milo. The first pair of jeans he pulled out had a fucking tiger on the back pocket and all the way down the back of his leg. And I was like, yeah, those are kind of cool, dog, but I don't know if I can send you home to your white mama with those pants. She gonna call me screaming, like, what the fuck are you doing? I didn't let him get them, huh? I don't think I did.
No, but you let him get colored skinny jeans.
Yeah, well, I was better than a fucking tiger down his fucking pant leg.
I guess so.
Like, holy shit, dude. But it was just hilarious. The kid was always trying to, dude, no, not gonna happen.
Did you ever rock? It was middle school. The karate shoes.
Oh yeah, dude.
The what shoes?
Karate shoes.
Kung fu shoes, bro. They were like this little tan strip of plastic on the very bottom.
Nope.
They were ninja shoes.
Yeah, ninja shoes.
You know what I mean? Because you would always see ninjas on TV.
No, actually, no, not ninja shoes. Because ninjas actually had the little big toes sticking out. Yeah. These are straight up karate shoes.
Yeah. So they were just a real thin plastic on the real thin piece of plastic on the very bottom, and then just black cloth. And I tell you what, you walk around one summer with those motherfuckers out here, dude. Holy shit.
Man, they were
Now, we used to call them winos. That was what we grew up knowing them as.
Yeah.
They were the black shoes
with a thick
gummy, with a thick gummy bottom, and they were knitted black.
Yeah.
Used to wear those all the fucking time too.
I never rocked those.
Oh yeah, we did all because that was my dad used to wear them all the time. So I want my dad. Okay. And wear them motherfucker, dude. You'd be out playing around and it's so fucking hot that the gummy would start to melt. It was fucking awful, dude. But I used to get in trouble because they would buy me like a pair of shoes at the beginning of the year. But they would buy me like non-brand shoes.
Of course.
Atneys instead of Etnies.
Yeah, they didn't even have fucking Etnies back then is how bad it was. So like you'd get Pony. And nobody realized how cool ponies were until they weren't around anymore. They were the first ones that had the Velcro, right? If I remember correctly. And then Reebok came along and they started doing it. But if I remember correctly, Pony had the first ones.
I don't remember Pony being bad.
Yeah, they were kind of
Really?
they were the cheaper end of everything.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Ponies was still above my pay grade.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So I remember I used to ride my bike and I'd go up as far as I could and I'd come flying down and I'd put both feet down and until I stopped and I'd go back again. I'd wear a fucking hole in them motherfuckers. Mom, these fucking shoes, well, they put some tape on the bottom.
My name brand shoes was the Pro Wings.
Oh, yeah,
They were the
Payless.
knockoff. Yep, they were knockoff Vans. And dude, they look exactly like Vans. Only difference was the tag said Pro Wings instead of Vans on the side, and then the sole.
Yep.
Because Vans has that unique sole.
Yeah.
And you got clowned if you had some Pro Wings.
Oh, yeah. And motherfuckers knew. And I remember because, I went to Rancho Mirage Elementary. And I don't know how much you know about that school right there. But that shit, it was all fucking rich white people, dude. Like, it was fucking, everybody would like, my dad would go drop me off, and I was in a 56 Ford pickup that you could hear 2 blocks away, and everybody else getting dropped off in Cadillac and BMWs and Mercedes. And I was like, yeah. That's when I knew I was poor, is when I said, I didn't know, before I started school. And everybody walking around, they had OP shorts and shirts on.
I remember those.
You know what I mean?
Silver.
Pacific Sun.
I ain't gonna lie. Smartest parent in the world. I still remember their names. David Johnston and Chad Johnston.
I remember that name.
They lived down the street from me. One side of this long street, our block was apartments.
Okay.
The block over was houses, but we were on the same street. They lived in the houses, we lived in the apartments.
Okay.
And we got along, we played as kids. I didn't learn about this until after the fact. They would get like Hawaiian shirts. OP Hawaiian shirts, excuse me.
Right.
And it turned out his mom would sew OP like in the sleeve.
Really?
Dude, straight up exactly like the O. If I remember right, it was a capital O, lowercase p. But I could be wrong. And she had it down to a science, and she did it herself.
Wow.
Dog. Incredible.
My mom would have spelled OP wrong. Like, for real, though. Like, I mean, I love my mom to death, dude. I got nothing but love and respect for her. But if you look at that door, that first panel above where it says C. Razzo, see how she spelled great? And this is a woman, she read 3-4 books a day. but she couldn't remember how. Like when it came to spelling, she couldn't remember how to do that shit.
That's classic right there, though.
Yeah.
Grate.
Yup. Love her to death, and I miss her every day. Don't get me wrong, man. I'm a mom. I miss you, but I could never understand how you could read so much and not write. It used to drive me crazy. But yeah, dude, I went there. I remember. So when I went to kindergarten, I didn't speak English.
Really?
Yeah, I spoke nothing but Spanish. So my mom had to go to school with me because they never let us go with anybody else. I was always with my mom, right? So I would cry. I didn't want to fucking stay. So she stayed at school with me. And then one day she got there and the teacher was like, no, you can't. You got to go. You got to let him go. He'll figure it out. He'll be fine. And I was sitting there crying, and this little girl came and hey, are you okay, bro? Come on, let's go color. A pretty little white girl. If I remember correctly,
That's where it started?
That's where it started. And I still have a thing for this girl to this day. And she looks her face has never changed. Do you remember?
Wait a minute. You keeping tracks on this girl?
Well, she's on my Facebook. Like, we're Facebook friends and shit like that.
Stalker.
No, not like that. Totally like that. No, I'm just kidding. Christina Miller. I don't know if you remember her.
No.
Because I don't think she changed high schools or something back then. But if I remember correctly, that's who it was that came and grabbed me and we went and colored and I was fine after that. I was sitting there coloring with her. I stopped crying. My mom said, oh, okay, good, I'm out. So then there was this white girl and she was a Jewish.
Are you noticing a trend?
She was a Jewish girl, right? Little white girl, curly hair, blonde hair, nice kid. I mean, we went to school all the way through probably middle school and then lost track, whatever. Her name was Laura Gittleman. And she had a party at her house for her birthday. And I got invited.
Is it a bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah?
Who knows? A brat mitzvah, whatever. So anyways, mom said, okay, we'll take you. But don't fucking touch anything. So they, scrambled some money together, got her a gift. And we walked into the house, bro. And it was like, because you walked in and back then, when people had money back then in the early 70s, their house was all mirrors. And I don't even know if I'm remembering it totally right, but I remember walking in and there being mirrors it was just on the walls. And we're just like, holy shit. My mom said, you don't fucking touch a thing in this. Kill you. And it was right there. And then I was like, okay, yeah, we're fucking poor. Yeah. We barely got mirrors in the bathroom.
I remember in junior high, I think it was like end of the year party. Either 7th grade or 8th grade, because obviously at our time that was only 2 grades,
right?
Middle school. I think it was a girl by the name of Angie DeMonico, something like that. She lived across the street from Ruth Hardy Park, and I drive by this house all the time.
She's a short girl, right? Dark black hair,
dark brown hair. I don't think she was short though.
Okay. Oh no, yeah, I'm thinking somebody else, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
and. Like, again, like how you're saying how the other half lives.
Right.
The better half lives, I should say. Her room was like a casita behind the garage.
Get the fuck out.
And we partied in there for some 8th graders. I mean, I'm not saying drugs and drinking.
Right.
But it was like, it was detached from the house. Her parents weren't in this room. They were in the house, I would assume. It was an after school party. But dude, it was like her own little house. And we partied down for some 8th graders. It was great. And again, I drive by this house all the time, and I kind of remember it, partying in that room.
Right. God. Well, I remember going over to people's house and, hey, you want something to drink? Yeah, go ahead in the fridge. There's sodas, there's water, whatever you want. Just grab it, blah, blah, blah. I remember I had somebody over at the house one time, and that motherfucker walked into the kitchen, started looking around, and my mom, you okay? What you doing, son? You lost? And she's like, hey, don't ever let that boy come back to my house walking around like he owned this shit.
I remember ditching parties.
Oh yeah.
If I remember right, I think like Israel Diaz threw one.
Oh yeah.
An outpost. I don't even know how we got there.
Man, we got to a lot of places, and I don't know how we got there.
Yeah, it is true.
We got to a lot of places. I don't know how we got out. And I remember there was a party one time that I think we all went to, and we were in the backyard, and the popo showed up, and then there was gunshots, and people were jumping the fence and trying to get out. Cops are coming in one side of the gate, and everybody's trying to get out the other side. And I don't remember how we all met up or what afterwards, but it used to suck, dude, like going to those parties, because back then there still weren't that many houses in Cat City.
Yeah.
Like there were still spaces between houses. So you jumped a fence and
you're a desert.
Yeah, you were ankle deep in the sand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they had chain link fences.
Oh yeah. Ugh. Not like now. Now you jump a fence, there might be a dog, like, you know what I mean? It's gonna be
Right.
fuck, dude. It was crazy back then. I don't know how the fuck we did half the shit we did, or got away with half of that shit that we did.
And like you said, how we got around. Because I remember going to some parties. He was a DJ. Last name was Ellis.
I know the name.
I forgot his first name. He would throw parties. And I'm talking, if I was a freshman, I'm pushing it.
Right.
I'm still thinking I'm in middle school. And how I got to these parties in Cat City when I lived in Palm Springs at that age, I have no idea.
I think, I don't remember. I want to say that it was Gene Lavely's party, but I'm not sure. We went.
Maybe it was Ellis Greer.
Yes, that's it.
Maybe that was his name.
Yes, you're right. No, that's it.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't remember if it was. I want to say it was Gene's house, but I don't remember. I think it was a Loader Yakovich production, and we went down this street, and there was palm trees everywhere, and down palm trees on the, like all the shit that fell off. And it was a really, like, the outside of the house was white, really pretty. You walked inside, the house was like fucking like something you'd watch like on that movie Alpha Dog or whatever, the one that they filmed about the murders during, you know what I mean? Like just like that old school 70s Rat Pack style house. And you walk in, and it was just, I remember the house just being fucking packed, bro. And people just beers and everybody talking, and fuck, dude, they don't do shit like that no more.
Not like
at
we
all.
No.
And then they'd have a DJ in the house because they didn't want nobody to call the cops too early. So, yeah, dude, crazy. And then you still had your sections where, people that wanted to talk, people that smoked, people that drank.
Yeah.
Everybody had their own little cliques, but everybody hung out together and everything was cool, right? Until somebody started drinking Jägermeister and it was time to go.
And when you really think about it, that many kids in a house, we managed to get alcohol, could have been a keg.
Yeah.
And dude, we would party down.
Yep. Did you ever go to any of the parties in the desert where they were, oh yeah, we're going to do fucking 8 keggers and 8 kegs and blah, blah, blah.
If you remember right, there was the 50. Do you remember that one where that was?
Yes, I believe so.
Where?
That wasn't at the school, right?
Or
At the 50-yard line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was the parking lot for the football field.
Okay.
It wasn't actually on the football field,
Right.
but we call it the 50.
Right.
There was
The circles
the circle, which is
on the way out towards, going towards the waterfalls.
in Andreas Hills.
Yeah.
Funny thing about that is I actually do a pool in that area because the circles were like dead end streets.
Right.
It was a main road going to where the houses were, and between the houses and the main road that you came off of was a long street, and then in between there were like dead ends.
Right.
But those dead ends now are houses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I actually do pools around there.
So this place that we're talking about, it's called the Circles, right? So you know how Plum Canyon, say you're coming down this way and it starts to turn this way and you pass like where the Denny's is at? So instead of following that curve, you go straight. And it takes you back, and that's where the reservation's at, and that's where you get on to go to the falls and all that shit, right? Well, before you get to the falls and where the reservation's at, there used to be this little alcove, basically, where they were starting to build houses, but they weren't built yet. And all it was two or three circles, right? So you'd go out there and people would park in these circles, but you'd have to turn off all the lights. You couldn't have music or anything. Everybody was just out there fucking drinking in the dark. And you'd be talking to somebody and be like, "Oh shit, I thought you were," you know what I mean? Never fucking knew who you were talking to.
Dude, in the middle of the night.
It is crazy and so amazing. Nobody ever got bit by a fucking snake out there.
True.
Because it was right up against the fucking, like across the street from the mountains.
Remember, did you ever party at the Raymond Cree Circle?
No.
Raymond Cree Circle was a street behind Raymond Cree. Was like very little houses, if any. Again, another dead end street, just a circle. We go party there. There was where else did we party? Oh, Oasis, the water park.
Oh yeah.
Go all the way in the back of the parking lot.
Yeah.
All the way in the back.
So you remember what Oasis is, right?
No.
So it's that water park that's right there on G Nautry. I think you guys went there once. Yeah, I think we went. We went once.
Maybe.
But what we would do, like at the end of the night or at night when nobody was around, you'd fucking go and you'd have to all the way to the back. No lights again, no nothing. You're just out in the middle of a dark fucking parking lot drinking with whoever showed up. You know what I mean? Fucking crazy, dude. Where else? There was another place right now that I was thinking about. Did you ever go party up at the Cross?
No.
No? So that's a bit of a hike to
Palm
get up there,
Desert?
but yeah.
No,
No, right here in Palm Springs. You know where the Cross, I guess, is next to the Witch or whatever they call her? It's somewhere in that area. It's like right behind Palm Canyon. No?
No idea. No.
So, because it's got like a little alcove that's right there. It's like bricks and shit. You can go out there and sit. And then they had, you've been to the midget houses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Little people.
Yeah, little people. Sorry. Whatever. No, they were still midgets when we were. So we're going to call them that.
Yes, but you're recording in 2022.
Just historically accurate is what I'm trying to be. Where else was there?
That might have been it. You know, back to the circle. It's a area of Palm Springs called Andreas Hills.
Okay.
Which one? The Ray McCree or
The
circle?
The original
circle.
circle.
The original circle. If you went again, you pass the circles into the neighborhood of the rich houses, and you would actually, it's almost like a loop. So
Almost
if you
like a
went,
circle?
yeah. So if you went up, straight up, you actually were going up the mountain. Like it was an incline all the way to the top, and then you make a left, and then you just come back down the other way, and it was just houses all around. But at the very top was like a makeout spot, if you will.
Right.
And my buddy Rick taught me this. If you could, when you make that left turn, your car is kind of like at an angle, and the passenger side is higher than the driver's side.
Okay.
So it was a trick that if you could stop it in that perfect spot, in that sweet spot, the joke was the passenger couldn't open the door because the door was too heavy, especially for a chick.
wow.
Holy shit. Did anybody say fucking Me Too movement right now?
Wow.
Holy fuck.
Hey, we used to try to hit it every time. See if you could open your door. It was hard, but you know, I don't think I ever did it. But he said if you got a sweet spot, that door was just way too heavy for somebody to open it.
She said that girl wasn't escaping for nothing. Fucking Rick, Jesus Christ. Speaking of Me Too, did you follow the rest of the trial with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard?
I wouldn't say I followed it, but I know it ended today.
Yeah, so they came back with the verdict, and Johnny Depp was vindicted. Is that the right word? Yeah, vindicated. So he won
15
million.
No, I heard it was 10.
Well, it was 15 was what the jury awarded him, and then the judge said
they can only do 350,000 or 300,000.
Yeah, 350,000 for punitive damages.
So it's 10.35.
Right, and she gets 2 million.
Right.
So she owes him the original 7 million, and then 350,000. But I wonder if she has,
and the extra 3 million, right?
well, yeah, I don't know why the extra 3
She
million.
only got 7 million in that. divorce one, right? That she was talking about.
Right. So she's gonna that plus the extra 3.
So 3.35.
Yep. So that's actually
She's
what he
lucky
won.
she never donated it to those 2 spots.
Yeah, right. Because she needs it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
but she
okay.
got
She'll
all
pledge
that.
it. She'll pledge it to him. It's okay.
She got all that Aquaman money now. So,
Maybe not after this one.
Do you think he's gonna be able to come back, make a comeback?
oh yeah, he's already. They're talking about him starring in the reboot of Beetlejuice.
Bless you.
Serious?
Yeah.
I never even liked that movie.
You didn't like Beetlejuice?
No.
Oh, that shit was a bomb, dog. Back then, that was like the pinnacle of fucking like
Get there.
special effects kind of shit. You know what I mean? Back then, because you're talking.
Jesus, tell
that
me.
was
I know.
that was with
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton played Beetlejuice. So I can't imagine. Like, depends on who does it. Like, if they give it to fucking Tim Burton, forget about it, dude.
He'll take it and run.
Yeah, it'll be a cross between Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and fucking Edward Scissorhands.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, that does
And
get
Helena
into you
Bonham
now.
Carter.
Is that what it is?
Helena
Yeah.
Bonham Carter will star in it too.
Yeah, probably.
I think that if they made another Pirates with him,
That would fucking
Fuck.
I think it would go off.
Yeah, it would kill because everybody
Yeah.
would be like, "Fuck yeah, Disney, you did the
Yeah.
right thing." But I don't think that'll happen.
They're saying they're doing 2 movies,
With him?
2 Pirates movies. One without him, and then
One with him.
one
right?
with him. Maybe there's
So-
going to be one with Margot Robbie as the main, and then
And here's what's weird, because I said that she wasn't strong enough to pull off
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey when she was Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
I have this really fucking weird feeling that she could fucking kill
yeah.
a pirate. I think she would play a great female pirate.
I think they're going to make her the one on the ride,
Yeah.
the red.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be. Bless you. Sorry, it's all the dust too. We haven't had a chance to get in here and get all this dust out of here, but for the next time. So it'll be interesting to see if they're actually able to bring him back, because he said that he wouldn't for $300 million and a million alpacas, but
Really?
yeah, he said he wouldn't go back because he was pissed off that they did that to him.
Give him a couple of years.
Yeah,
Give him a couple years, 400 million.
let
and
it sink
200 million
in.
alpacas.
Let it sink in that you've lost a lot of money and you need to refill that wallet, and then be like,
Put out the Margot Robbie movie first, and then when that one does shit, put out the Johnny Depp one, and then you're good.
right.
I saw a trailer for the new Thor movie. That looks like it's gonna be off the hook because I like superheroes.
Right.
Because his girlfriend in the first movie,
Natalie Portman.
she comes back in.
Yeah,
And she's yoked in the second one, right? This is what they said, that she
because she
looks-
becomes Thor.
Yeah.
I don't.
She becomes a female Thor or
Yeah,
whatever.
she does, but I didn't see her.
Thorina?
I didn't see her with her clothes on.
What's it?
I mean,
Jane Thor or Thor Foster, something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
I've stuck to not watching trailers for movies
why?
because most of the time now, all the trailers are just the good bits in the movie.
Yeah, the best part of the movie.
It's always been like that, though. No.
No,
Not always. It's gotten worse lately. I want to see this new movie. Have you seen the preview? It's called The Beast
No.
with Idris Elba. Is that his name?
Yes, he's an actor.
I believe that's who it is. Because I'm sorry to say, there's 2 black guys that look a lot alike that look like Idris Elba. And I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure it's Idris though. And he comes out in this movie and he gets his 2 daughters. The mother had died and he's trying to, kind of rein them in. So he takes them to Africa to on the safari. And he's got this.
it's Idris Elba.
Okay. And he's got his 2 daughters with him, and he's got a tour guide, and the tour guide's taking him down this road, and all of a sudden this guy comes out from the side of the road screaming, and he's bleeding and shit, and the guy stops and he tells him, "Don't get out of the car." So he gets out, and the guy's telling him, what's going on, and it's a rogue lion, like the lion's hunting this dude, right? So it's about this lion becoming really aggressive, and the Jeep that they're in knocks the Jeep off a ledge, and he's got to get his 2 girls to safety against this lion. It looks fucking intense as fuck. It looks really good. Anybody?
No.
Is this thing no?
No.
Why?
That can't be what the movie's about. About him being on a ledge with his 2 daughters trying to get him to safety because there's a lion out?
Yeah, because the lion's hunting them.
Yeah, I'll pass.
You're tripping.
Seabass?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass too.
Watch the fucking trailer.
Watch the trailer. You don't need to watch the movie.
I'm more interested on who the other guy is that you say they look alike.
I was gonna ask that too, but that was gonna turn south real fast. Don't even.
What? Yeah, I was gonna try to tell you and explain, but I can't think of how to do it
Because I don't
properly.
know any other actor that looks like Idris.
Yeah, Domingo, the dude from
Home and Domingo don't look like him.
Bullshit.
Who?
Fear the Walking Dead.
They look a lot alike, except Idris is a little
The
cooler and a little
security
bit
guy?
darker. What?
The security guy from The Walking Dead?
No, Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah,
It's a
Fear the
different-
Walking
the
Dead.
other
Oh, I
show.
don't watch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think they look a lot alike on like quick little spurts. Whatever. It's okay. Have you seen? Have you seen? Come on, what's the one that we wanted to go see?
Maverick?
No, come on. The one we've been
Doctor
talking.
Strange?
Yeah, Doctor Strange. Did you
No,
go
I
see
haven't
that?
seen that, no.
Are you interested in seeing
No,
that?
I'm
I
not.
thought you liked fucking superhero movies.
Yeah, he's not a real superhero, though.
Get the fuck out of here.
He's not.
How's he not?
He's a wizard.
Since
He
Iron
changes
Man's
time.
not there, he's taken over as the coolest one for me.
Nah.
Ooh, I don't. Yeah, that's a stretch, but
No, I mean, he's not a superhero. I'm not interested in watching Harry Potter. I want superheroes.
They don't have wands out there. Zippity zoo, zippity say.
Nah.
hey,
he's
fuck
whack.
the both of you. Harry Potter's the shit. I used
And
to
this is
love
why
Harry
your brother
Potter.
thinks you're obsessed with it.
I used to love Harry Potter.
I bet you did. All them white girls at the school.
Mhm.
Ew, Tony, that's low even for you.
Yeah, that was a little young when I was reading that book. I was a little older. Probably not good to make that connection there, Tony. But thanks.
The one fucking connection he'll make.
Yeah, right.
You know what I started watching? I don't know if you saw it. The Bobby Brown biography.
No. What is it with you and fucking biographies and documentaries and shit?
I don't even know who Bobby Brown is.
You pops ain't schooled you on who Bobby Brown is?
I probably don't
Hey,
even
He
know
likes
who he is.
fucking rock.
Don't
bro.
you
Like,
listen to the Madhouse Radio?
No.
Like every 4 songs is a Bobby Brown song, and there ain't nothing wrong with that.
right? Don't be cruel. What?
Well, that's okay. Well, here's the thing: it's a 4 episodes, hour each,
4-part series.
4-part series. The first part was when he was in New Edition, which we saw.
Right?
It was okay.
I recognize that name.
Really?
Candy girl.
They went
Not
into that. The second episode my wife and I just watched was when he was solo.
New Edition saying "Cool It Now" too, right?
Yeah.
Cool it now.
And so when he came out with an album before Don't Be Cruel, which really didn't do very well.
Okay.
And they explained that in the show. So he really had to come strong with the second one, which obviously he did.
Right.
And they showed the beginning of the video with Don't Be Cruel. And that's the drum beat hit. And my wife and I were sitting there rocking our heads and we're like, oh, hell yes. It just brought us back to being 18 again.
Shit, that shit took you back to middle school, fool. Bobby Brown? Come on. Well, that was more New Edition, right? Middle
Yeah,
school?
New Edition was middle school. But dude, that Don't Be Cruel came hitting hard. Hey, if you remember the video, he pulls up in his Mercedes.
I never really watched too many videos.
Man.
We didn't have cable too often. We get it every 3 months when it was on special. As soon as it became, oh no, we got to get rid of cable. We went back to 3 channels. Fuck.
It was good. Just brought us back.
Fucking
That
Bobby
shit
Brown.
hard.
And it takes you all the way through up to Whitney Houston, or how far does it go?
This episode again is just his solo act.
Did you see the new Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Not yet. No.
Shit's hard.
Is it?
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good show.
Yeah, it's really good. Very, very.
You're not Star Wars, are you? You're not huge into it.
I'm not. I'll watch it, and I won't complain about it.
That'll be
well,
new.
I would say I don't complain about it.
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say.
I'll watch it and I'll be all right.
I'm not huge into it. I'm a fan. I like it. I know the movies, but this one, like the first 2 episodes, I dare say is better than The Mandalorian.
Really, Mandalorian was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a very good show, but I like this one seemed a lot. It seemed a lot stronger, right? The character,
it's
everything.
a lot stronger because they have to do Obi-Wan and Darth Vader the right way.
Good
They
call.
have to do that relationship the right way, or else they'll fuck up the rest of the movies.
Yeah.
So is he young? Is he old?
No, he's old. This is in between episode 3 and 4.
So it's like
Revenge-
before New Hope.
It's it's after Revenge of the Sith when Anakin becomes Darth Vader. Spoiler alert, if you still don't fucking know that. And then in A New Hope where Luke meets Ben Kenobi to start his Jedi training.
That does seem good. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
it was. Yeah, it's pretty intense.
People have been waiting for this story for a while.
Wow. Yeah, I am planning on watching it.
It's good, dude. You should watch
Is
it.
it?
I found this other show. It's been on.
Is it foreign?
No. Yeah, you know what happened on Netflix? If you're not careful, you'll fuck up your rhythm, your algorithm, and it starts giving you a bunch of bullshit. Like I like watching kung fu movies, right? So I'll watch one, and then next thing I know, it's all fucking, Chow Mei Young Fung in, Poison Dragon or whatever, and you're like,
At this point, we might as well just have him guess who fucking Idris Elba looks alike.
right? and then then you watched what the fuck was that?
You watch some Swedish show.
Yeah, and it just fucks up the algorithm. So now I hardly ever get any American shows on Netflix. I got to fucking dig
It's
for them.
all foreign shows dubbed over.
Yeah.
What Swedish show are you watching? I can understand the karate movies, but
Well, there was one too that was it's called Ragnarok, which is a Thor movie.
yeah,
But it was a series that was made in Vetlanka, wherever I don't know.
Finland? Norway?
Norway, probably. Yeah.
about Thor.
Yeah, and it's about this kid that's related to Thor that is getting Thor powers, and there's a family there that's against
Super.
Thor's family, and he's an evil guy, and it's about those two colliding and they start to figure out who's who, and they battle each other. It's good, dude. It was a good show.
Subtitles.
No, it was dubbed over poorly, but it's still a good show.
There's a movie. I don't remember the name of the movie. Escapes me. And they didn't specifically say it was about Superman, but it's about a kid who comes to Earth with and he winds up getting, and he gets adopted by the man and wife that finds him.
Right?
It's the storyline of Superman, but the kid is evil.
Oh shit!
I don't remember the name of it, but the mother is the chick from the Hunger Games, like the chick that does the announcements.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Blonde girl.
Oh,
What is her name?
Elizabeth,
Yeah,
right? Something.
Elizabeth Banks.
Banks.
That's
yeah,
it.
that's
I-
it.
I
Good job.
think that's the mom. I don't remember what it was called. Red something. It could have been better,
I think
but
I saw the
it's
things for this movie.
Oh. Okay.
it's an older movie already.
Okay.
But it was pretty good. I mean, he winds up killing his stepdad. He stalks this chick, and he's young. And I think he might have killed his mom. I don't remember. But he, at one point, like, she's the only one left. He's tearing up the house, flying through it, just tearing all the walls down. And eventually the house collapses.
Brightburn.
Yes.
I remember seeing the thing about this
And
movie.
it's actually, it's not a great movie. Could have been better because the concept was really good. But it's like, what if Superman actually was a bad kid?
Right. I think I saw it. I saw parts of it. I want to think.
I know
wanna
we
say-
talked about watching it.
So there's a show. It's an older show, and it's on HBO Max. And if you haven't seen it, take the time to watch it. It's a really it's a mind fuck, bro. It's called True Detectives. And I
saw that.
Did you like it?
The first one was Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson and all right.
That season was good. I don't think the last one or two were that good.
No, the second one, the first episode of the second one's been the best. That's the only one that I've seen, and that's the one with Colin
right?
Farrell. Yeah. So him and his wife, he's a cop, and he's been disgruntled, and they caught him doing bullshit or whatever, and he's going through these problems. He's divorced. His kid may not be his kid. He's a little fat redhead kid, right? And he's got a stepdad, and he goes to see his kid at school, right? He's dropping him off for the first day and blah, blah, blah. Hey, you know how them kicks, you like them? He bought him like these LeBrons or whatever, right? And the kid was like, yeah, but the kid was real shy and scared as shit. The kid gets out of the car, and he's walking by like the cool kids, and they're just talking shit to him while he's walking by, and the dad's just sitting there watching him. Well, then the kid was supposed to be going on a camping trip. He brought him a sleeping bag, went to the school, gave it to him. And the stepdad was like, oh, that's cool. The trip was last week, and he couldn't make it because he didn't feel well. And then he looks down and he said, hey, where are those shoes I bought you? He said, oh, it's just, what do you mean? Wait, where are the fucking shoes? Where are the fucking shoes I bought you? You wanted those fucking, where are they? And the dad was like, hey, relax, dude. There was just a mishap. What do you mean a mishap? And finally, they took his shoes out of his locker. And he grabs the kid and he's like, who the fuck took your shoes? Tell me right now, I'll pull your pants down and beat your ass right here in front of the cheerleaders. Who stole it? I'm going to give you the count of 3. 3, 2, and then he spits out this kid's name, right? Cody Aspen or Aspen something. Aspen Cody. So he fucking lets them go. He calls into the fucking police department and finds out the address for these people, right? So he goes to their house that night. This kid's house. He knocks on the door. The dad comes out, shows him his badge. Hey, I want to talk to your son about, some theft that had gone on. Just going to ask him a couple of questions. Blah blah blah. He said, just be real quick. We just do it right here on your porch or whatever.
And the dad's immediately combative.
So no, he's kind of like, this is kind of weird, but okay. So he goes in, kind of peeps his head in, walks in for a second, goes to grab his son. Colin Farrell turns around, slips brass knuckles on his hand. And has his hand ready. The kid comes out and, hey, so you like to fucking bully kids, right? Like, just immediately at the kid. And the dad steps in front of him and tries to say something, and pop, split his fucking face wide open. And the kid trying to run back inside. No, you're gonna watch. Your dad's taking this for you. This is your fault. Your dad's gonna take the ass whooping for you. And he beat the shit out of his dad. And he told him again, he says, if I hear you're bullying any fucking kids, I'm going to come back and I'm going to butt fuck your dad with your mother's fucking head right here on the front lawn while you watch. And then he looks at him, he said, 12 years old, my ass, fuck you. And he pushes the kid and walks away. And I was like, holy shit, bro. Like, I've seen that clip.
Did he get the shoes back?
No, they cut him up. But he beat the shit out of the dad, though, and made sure that kid didn't fuck with nobody else. He walked away. The kid was fucking sitting there bawling and crying, and the mom came out. Oh! And he got in his car and just drove away. La, la, la.
If I remember right, though, the season wasn't that great.
That season wasn't great?
And the third one isn't that great either.
That sucks when they do that shit. They're still talking about bringing back that other fucking Mind Hunters. They may do a third season of that.
I didn't think that was a good show either.
What? Really?
Yeah.
What was it about it that you didn't like?
I don't know. Maybe because it was dated. I understand the concept that's how they were.
But all the shows you watch are dated. All the documentaries that you watch, like you're watching
this is Bobby Brown,
Lakers, the Bobby Brown.
Come on, kid, don't be cruel. It's my problem.
All right, man, we gotta go. We'll see y'all next week. That was the cheesiest shit you ever said. That was like a fucking
smooth,
dad joke
kid.
from
Come
hell.
on.
Come on, man.
Be my tenderoni, kid. Every little step I take. Come on.
It's getting you closer off this motherfucker right now. Need to stop that shit. Holy shit! You need to cool it now, huh? I can do it too. What? Yeah, I thought that show was great, dude. The dude. So the dude that they brought out, there was a guy that was the killer in Santa Cruz.
I don't remember it all that well.
The really tall dude.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
So if you look up online, if you look it up, he looks exactly like the killer. And he talks and has that same slow, like they did really, really good. Even the dude that killed the bird.
Don't remember it.
He looks spot on, the guy that they were interviewing.
Okay, now here's a fact. I had no idea this was real. They were basing it on real killers. I just thought it was a show on, how they...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, this was... all these guys that they were interviewing were all, like, real...
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
The TKB or TBK, what was it?
I don't know. Is it the
Oh, yeah,
killer?
TBK. Tie, bound, and kill. I think is what it was. Which is the guy that's in the van that they show little clips of, and it was dressed like a woman, and his wife gave him that book, like, you're fucking out of line, read this Bible and you'll be fine kind of thing. The guy from Santa Cruz, the dude that killed the bird, Charlie Manson, that dude fucking played a phenomenal Charlie Manson. He was great, dude. He was absolutely. I don't know how you didn't like that. Like, it was really cool to kind of watch and see how that guy Ford really started to think and figure out how to play and manipulate these guys to get the information he was looking for. I liked it.
Not interested.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that kind of shit though. Like that, getting into somebody's head, that personality kind of shit. Like I kind of dig that. So if I would have gone to school and learned and paid attention,
you and me both,
I might have been able to do that shit for a living. But here we are in my backyard in a shed,
covered in sand.
Yeah, covered in sand.
And boogers, because Tony's been sneezing for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know, right? So, what was it in Texas? The shooting.
Yeah,
that is
that hard of a cut, huh?
That shit is crazy. You know that over the 3-day weekend, there was 11 mass shootings?
Well, I just heard about one today as I was coming here, before I came here, I should say, about this one on a campus in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
That happened today.
Yep. It's crazy. But like everybody's kind of being led, like...
everybody's being what?
Not led, but kind of like... has come to believe that that's okay. Like, even all the people that argue and fight, and all the Karens and all the people that are beating up people at fucking fast food restaurants because there's no more chicken fucking nuggets. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this society these days?
It's just like here in California, and there was I just saw a news story about it, that merchants are now saying no. They're not. People cannot just come in here and steal shit, and just be able to walk out because nothing's gonna be done to them.
Right.
They're like taking charge. Like, I saw one where a gang came in. Not a gang, just multiple people.
A club of people.
Smash and grab at a jewelry store, and the owner, the two co-owners, it was actually a brother and a sister. They're like, no, we ain't having it. And a worker started fighting them, throwing chairs at them and shit.
Wow.
And fought them off. They got away with some stuff, but not like had they not done anything.
So what's the law in California? If you, like, okay, you're the owner of that jewelry store, right? Guys come in, they start trying to do a smash and grab. Can you grab a gun and defend your business?
No, I don't think so.
Probably not in California, right?
Yeah. But the thing is, in regards to something like that, they're saying, let them take it because you have insurance money. You have everything's insured. It's not worth you, your employees, or another patron to get hurt. So you should just let it happen. Now, all these things that are happening, like at Walgreens, where people are stealing stuff, it's one of those things that because it's less than $500, It's not worth.
No, they raised that limit. It's not $500.
What is it
Even
now?
then.
It's like 5,000. And you know that in Oakland, people can go in and take whatever they want and walk out the door, and the cops won't come.
Yeah, because
How fucking ridiculous is that, dude?
that's why they're saying now it's like people are starting to get fed up with it. It's like, no, they'll have to take matters in their own hands.
It's gonna go back to the Wild Wild West, dude. That's crazy. Like, you know, I understand what they're saying. Hey, it's not worth it. Let your insurance company pay. But then their insurance is going to go up, or they're going to lose that insurance company because they're making these fucking claims. And the owner of the business gets asked out anyways.
Yep.
And then if the prices go up because they're having to pay higher premiums because they're losing all this money because they're allowing these people to do that, innocent people end up having to pay for it anyways. So what's the answer? Do you just keep letting people come in and do that shit, or do you let these people fucking take charge and handle business?
Start dropping motherfuckers.
Good question.
Like if you like
Well, how do you turn this horse around now? Meaning, it's gone on this long. You can't automatically say, all right, now we're going to start charging people.
the fuck you can.
I also have a question. If you are able to begin defending yourself, right, in your own store, what happens with your liability insurance that you want on guns, Tony? How does that work?
Give me more detail, and I'll tell you.
All I got was liability. In the detail of your thing, someone comes into your store
Okay,
and starts stealing shit
Okay.
and has a gun,
okay,
and you shoot them.
okay.
What happens with liability insurance? Because then what if they're uninsured? They're an uninsured gun owner.
The person that was robbing me?
Yeah.
And it's probably not even their gun.
So now it's a stolen uninsured gun,
But
and
I'm
people got injured.
I'm shooting.
You asked for detail.
But he's shooting them with his
I'm
legally
shooting.
owned-
His liability insured, legally owned gun.
I'm shooting the guy with my legally owned insured gun.
Yes.
Okay, and I shoot him.
Yeah, you
And I
dropped
connect.
that motherfucker.
And he's dead.
Mhm.
So I don't understand. What do I need insurance? What are you talking about in regards to my insurance?
Liability insurance, right?
Well, but I don't think. Well, first of all, I think if in order for that to happen, for him to pull a gun and shoot, it would have to be legal. But
Well, yeah,
you
that's
would,
what I
but
mean.
you would still have to carry liability insurance because somebody's going to say, "I don't know why that man shot him. He was a good kid."
Why they gotta sound like that?
I know. I stopped doing it. He was a good kid. Everybody loved him.
Okay, but
They still
okay,
sound like
look,
that.
The kid comes in with a gun trying to rip me off.
right,
I shoot him dead.
right. Now the mom's going to try to shoot.
okay,
Yeah, do you
but
give
here's the
liability
thing.
payout to the?
No, he brought in a gun threatening. Obviously, he was going to use it if he needed to.
So you're saying
It wasn't
self-defense
obvious that he was going to use it.
Why else would you pull it out?
to intimidate you,
And it worked because I was intimidated, so I shot him.
right? But the law says, hey, if they come in, just it's not worth anybody's life.
No, I don't think that's what the law says. That's just what they're saying,
Yeah,
so
they're-
everyone's
That's
protected.
That's more company policy than it is.
yes.
yeah,
I don't
'cause
think
there's
that's a law.
No, there's a governor in where was it? Back east somewhere, Arkansas.
Had to have been somewhere back east. Yeah.
Somewhere back east where she said, hey, look, if somebody breaks into your home, just comply, walk out of the house, let them take what they want because it's all insured anyways.
Right. I can see them saying that. I'm not saying it's correct, but
Yeah, that's so like, let me ask you this. If somebody walked into your home, somebody kicked your door down, you and your wife are sitting there
okay.
and they kick your door in, would you want to defend yourself or would you say, oh, let me step out back, you guys take what you want?
Oh, I would defend myself, of course. But again, I'm feeling threatened because of the approach they took. Just like if somebody were walking into my store with a gun, I'm feeling threatened. So I think I have the right to defend myself so nothing happens to me. It doesn't get escalated further in harming me because of something you're doing.
Okay, so then let's switch it because you said that it was the way they approached it. The approach was wrong.
No.
You felt threatened. That's what you said.
Okay.
So what if the guys came to your house, knocked on the door, you answered it. Hey, you know what? We're just here to steal some shit. You guys mind standing aside while we take what we want?
No, and I'll close the door if it's that friendly.
What the?
Well, I mean,
What is that question?
Well, because that's how dumb that whole statement was. Like,
No, what?
I mean, dumb. Like,
Don't offend
where
Tony.
well, that's what
Don't
like.
offend Tony.
Like, how is that?
You be nice.
There's no way that they're gonna come in and be that way. They're gonna kick the fucking door in.
Right, yeah, which is why I'm going to defend myself. Same with I own a jewelry store. Somebody comes in waving a gun saying I'm gonna steal some shit.
Yeah, but you were giving us shit for owning guns because we said, well, we're not gonna fucking let somebody come in and take our shit. And you were like, well, you need liability insurance.
No, that if I'm remembering correctly, the whole liability insurance was if somebody else who's not involved in the situation got hurt or shot. If I remember right, we were talking about if a kid brings a gun to school and it goes off and some little girl got shot and had to go to the hospital. It's like, well, who's paying for all this? Hold on a second. That's
You're
what
right.
I'm talking about.
That is what that is what we were talking about.
Okay.
In that case, it shouldn't be liability. It should be called collateral insurance.
Okay. But the fact still remains, we weren't talking about if somebody broke into my house or was trying to steal out of my jewelry store. That's
why the name fixes it.
So, like the basic law right now, like let's say I went to go commit a crime. And
let's not say that. Let's say it's somebody else.
Somebody went to go commit a crime and they had a gun.
Okay.
And they ended up in a shootout.
Okay.
And they not only killed, like, say, the shop owner, but they ended up killing an innocent bystander.
Okay.
They are automatically, like, even if they were in a shootout with the cops and they end up shooting somebody else around,
okay,
they're liable for that death because they discharged a firearm during a crime.
Okay.
So my question is I don't know. It was just a statement. I don't really know if the guy had a question.
I really didn't end in a question.
You know, it is one of those things that, okay, let's trace back the gun, the actual gun itself. Was it stolen? Was it owned by this person? Did he borrow it from somebody? You know, to figure out these innocent people that got involved in this, shot, hospital, now you got bills. Who should pay for that?
Well, if somebody lent somebody a gun and they use it during a crime, they should be charged with the same crime as a person that used the gun.
That's fine. But
accessory.
But
after the fact.
I got way fancy.
Let's talk about. I'm just concentrating on the innocent bystander that got shot.
Right.
Yeah,
how's his bills
damage.
getting paid? If there was insurance on this gun at the time of purchase and it's required to be handled annually or what have you, the insurance should kick in.
Okay. So, who shot the little girl? The criminal or the jewelry store owner?
I think it would have to be the jewelry store owner.
Okay, let's say the jewelry store owner.
For the
scenario.
insurance to cover it,
Yeah.
right? Because if the gun was stolen,
Okay, from the criminal.
the criminal shot somebody.
Okay.
And shot the little girl or whatever.
Okay.
So now do they? Well, I guess they would have to go back, and the guy that they stole the gun from, or however they got it, would have to be charged because that means that he didn't have the gun locked away properly, anyways.
Residentially, like privately, but if they stole it from a store,
yeah, I mean, there's so many different nuances to
now,
it.
let's bring this back to this unfortunate event at the school.
Oh yeah, crazy.
Okay. First of all, let's just cut to the chase on some of these things. A guy on his 18th birthday could walk in and buy this gun.
Correct.
I don't believe that should be done. And when I say that, it's a matter of maturity. Why can't someone who's 19 years old go to a bar and buy a drink? Because he ain't old enough.
Okay. Well, then
the maturity. Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
The maturity level is not there. And
He's
Hold
not
on.
done.
I'm not done.
He's not done.
And
charging.
Be
And
nice
here's
to
what
tell
I
me.
mean by this. You could tell. Well, I shouldn't say that. Some kids in high school, graduating high school, some kids are going to be 18 years old already. I don't think that kid should be able to, while he's still in high school, go and buy a gun like that. Now, with that being said, if you raise it to 21, now you're talking about someone who's a junior in college age. The maturity level between that 18-year-old kid that was in high school versus that 21-year-old who's a junior in college is magnificent. The difference in maturity. Okay? His feelings don't necessarily easily get hurt. He didn't get. You got this 18-year-old whose girlfriend dumped him for the school.
I think that used to be the case. I think they get hurt very easily nowadays. But go ahead.
Okay, well,
He just got dumped
Don't look at me.
by his girlfriend.
okay, well,
defending you.
do you? Okay, would you, for not the exception but the norm? Would you tell me? Do you think there's a difference between someone who's 18 and someone who's 21?
Well, before I answer your question, let me ask you this.
All right, Amber. Hurry it up.
Because you said that 18, they're too immature to get a gun, to buy a gun, correct? And that at 21,
I think no.
And
I
that at
think
21
there's a
they're
maturity.
more
correctly?
I think there's a maturity difference between an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old.
okay.
And I do believe that an 18-year-old is not mature enough. So yes, he's immature to buy a gun.
Okay. So then why do we let 18-year-olds vote? Why do we allow 18-year-olds to join the military where we give them free guns?
And we shouldn't.
We shouldn't.
Yeah.
Then who should we send in the military?
Whomever wants to join, as it is now.
At 18.
Okay, but you could switch it to 21. We're not necessarily. There's no draft that's required anymore. It's just people who want to join. I mean, but okay. With that being said, that's just like saying to get a driver's license. Why do you have to go through all these hoops just to get a driver's license?
You're right.
Meaning taking a test, studying for the test, waiting in line at the DMV.
Waiting to go and drive with somebody to make sure you know how to use it.
At 18.
Right. No, it's 16, right?
I don't know.
You get your
15 and a
license at
half, you can get your permit.
No,
16 and a half.
16 is a permit, isn't it?
I got my permit at 15 and a half.
But you didn't get a full license until you're 18.
16.
16?
Yeah, you get the license at 16, but you still have, like, you can't drive past 11 o'clock alone, right?
Yeah, you can't drive between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m.
So we all agree that there are hoops that have to be done. You have to jump through in order to do these things.
Now, I'll agree with you. I think there needs to be a different verification process or a different background for purchasing arms. Because at 18, you can go and buy a rifle.
I did.
And you can buy a rifle every day for those. Is it like you can buy one every other day?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. But they still, they do the 10-day hold, and after 10 days, you can come back and pick it up. Now you can buy ammo the same day that you pick up your gun. So you either buy it before or after you get it.
What's 10-day hold? Because I don't think there was a 10-day hold for this kid.
Well,
He had just turned 18, and he went and got his gun. And then, like, 3 days later, they say he bought the second one. And then, like, 10 days after that, that's when he went on the...
Right. 10 days after that, because that's the 10-day waiting period.
That was the 10-day after he got the first one.
Right. So what happens is you go in, you make the purchase, you fill out, and you pay for your background check, $35. They run your background, whatever it is right now. And then you can come back in 10 days and pick up your gun. So... But how much deeper can they get? Like what kind of background could you really run on people? And the other thing is that, you know what? Half the time, the people that are committing crime aren't law-abiding citizens. They're not, some, like, this kid actually went and bought his gun. Some of the kids take their parents' guns because their parents didn't lock it up the right way and don't have a safe and aren't protecting their children, themselves, and their community the way they should. So, is more gun laws and more restrictions going to help? Not necessarily, because if you're a criminal, you're a criminal, and you're going to get what you need to do criminal activity one way or the other.
Which is why I'm saying I believe there's a big difference between someone who's 18 years old and someone who's 21 years old.
You're right, but there has to be a lot more legislation that goes along with it, because that'll never happen as long as we're letting people at 18 vote and people at 18 go into the military.
I wouldn't say that, because so why can't we let people who are 18 drink? Because it can't be done. There is a separation between an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old in regards to certain things, voting versus drinking.
Right, but like you said, you're in the middle of this. Rolling it back's not going to be that easy. So changing that's not going to be that easy, because they can vote right now.
You know what? You're right. It's not going to be that easy. But whatever is in regards to something like this. And I'll give you an example. Seatbelts. When we were growing up,
it
wasn't a requirement.
Right. And we only had lap belts.
Yep. And so all of a sudden it became law. Took us a while to get used to it. Some of us got tickets for not wearing them.
You got a shit ton of those.
But eventually we started it, and what happened to the next generation? It's automatic for them. So it was a hump to get through, to get over initially. But after, how long has it been now? 20 years, 30 years?
Oh, yeah, at least.
Okay, well, 3 generations from now, it'll be the norm that you have to wait till you're 21 to get a gun. Right now, yeah, it's going to be crazy, because this ain't the way it should be. This ain't the way it's been. Just like seatbelts, just like helmets. It ain't the way it's been, but we'll get used to it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm 50. So if y'all want to make these motherfuckers wait till they 21, I'm cool with it.
And I'm already 22, so fuck it. Send it.
So is that not just a simple thing that we could do now, in your opinion?
I don't think it's going to make the difference that you think.
Really?
Yeah.
So you truly don't believe there's a difference between an 18-year-old?
No, that's not what I said.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Because
what I'm saying is, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference in what's going on in the world.
How many of these shooters are under the age of 21?
Well, there's only been a couple, but most
how
of them,
many of them are under 21?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. I don't have the stats, but I know that the one that just did this was
okay,
and the other ones weren't 18, like Columbine and all them, and they stole guns from their parents.
The kid that shot up the supermarket in Buffalo, 18-year-old kid.
Did you see that video?
Which one?
The one that you just mentioned.
That supermarket?
No.
Holy shit.
God
really?
awful, bro. God awful. The
I
kid
didn't know there was a video.
Dude, he was wearing a GoPro.
And he fucking live streamed it.
I didn't know it was available
for about
to see.
30, 40 seconds before they pulled
How'd
him off.
you guys see it? You live streamed it?
No,
YouTube?
one of our friends in our group chat had it and sent it to us. 2 people in our group chat.
Whose?
In our group chat.
The one that you're in.
I didn't see it.
No, he sent it private because they asked everybody who wanted to see it.
And he didn't respond. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go back.
You don't want to
No.
see it. It's awful. It's just
Okay, well, let's not get off. Let's get back on the track right quick. He was 18. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because it'll take him 3 years to do that. What he did from 18 to 21. I think the way he felt at 18, he might not feel at 21 anymore. Might not feel. Again, we have seatbelt laws. How many people still die in a car accident because they're not wearing their seatbelt? There's going to be some people that get through the cracks.
Do you know that more people die from suicide than from mass shootings, or more people die from accidental discharge when they're cleaning the gun or they're at a range and they make a mistake and they end up killing them? More people die that way than with something like that, this tragedy that happened. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that.
I don't. I'm not trying to be callous, but what's the point of that? You're killing yourself. You shouldn't do it. I feel sorry you feel that way, but you're not taking 18 people with you that shouldn't be going with you.
Oh, I'm not trying to justify that happening
or minimize that happened.
Yeah, not at all. But you know, they're a lot of times what that whole thing is that numbers are inflated, and it's just like anything else. You can extrapolate numbers all day long and figure out what falls under what category to plead your case. What happened should not have happened at all.
Nor should ever happen.
The cops that waited outside that didn't do anything, that shit never should have happened.
Yeah, that's good. That's a rough one.
There was a girl on the fucking phone with 911. Hey,
covering herself in blood.
There's a shooter at the school, and them saying, "Oh, the kids are okay," and hung up. There was a mother that got to the school and they wouldn't let her past. She snuck around the school, climbed in a window, went and found her 2 kids and walked the fuck out of that school with her kids while that shit was happening. Like, how fucking crazy is that? How crazy? Like, think about this, dude. How old was a girl? 10 or 11, right?
Something like that.
She was like 10 or 11, the one girl that survived, right? She covered herself in blood. What kind of savage wherewithal do you have in the middle of that situation? Kudos to that little girl to be able to think about that and figure that, hey, I'm just going to fucking throw some blood on me. I'm going to fake that I'm dead. And hopefully I make it through this shit. Right? Talk about survival skill, right? How fucked up is it, A, that an 11-year-old girl has to do that? Right? And all the, like, we had earthquake drills growing up. We had fire drills. Dude, kids in school now have fucking active shooter drills. Like, how fucked up mentally is that for a kid to go to a school and have to prepare for somebody that may come in and fucking try to mow you down while you're learning about history?
We had to do that. There was a kid that walked onto our fucking school with a BB gun.
Wow. And they thought it was a real gun. And that's I couldn't imagine that.
Neither can I. So what you're saying is this was horrific.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
And it should have never happened. But yet, doing something as simple as raising the age to purchase a gun, you don't think is worth it.
I didn't say it wasn't worth it.
Oh.
That's not what I said.
Oh, so you think that is a good idea?
No. Not necessarily, because it's not the gun that's doing the problem. And yes, you could do that, but you have to change a lot of other shit that goes along with it. You can't tell these kids, hey, at 18 you can sign up. We'll teach you how to be a fucking killer. So if it ever comes down, you can go to another country and mow motherfuckers down for us in the name of glory for this country.
In the name of America.
But you can't own a gun if you don't join the military. Like,
hold on a second. But you can't have a beer in our bars,
right?
So you're okay with lowering the legal drinking age?
No. What I'm telling you is, I don't think that changing the age from 18 to 21 is going to make a difference.
Because, like he said, if they really want to do it, fuck the laws. They're going to figure out how to get it and do it.
Well, of course, yeah. There are many.
There's plenty of ways to do it. If they wouldn't have done it with that, they could have done it with the pipe bomb.
They're just choosing not to do it because the gun lobbyists, the NRA, all that stuff, got way too much money in the game to let something like that happen. I get it. I understand why they're not doing it. But what I'm just simply trying to say is that is one thing I think that can combat these issues is making them wait a few more years because they might get out of that mindset that they're in at 18 when you're still.
Well, instead of doing that, why don't we have part of the background check would be to do a psychological evaluation on anybody that wants to purchase a gun.
I'm all for it.
I would rather see
Something.
that. I would rather see that than then change the age from 18 to 21.
Because there's some mature 18-year-olds.
Because I think it's unfair.
But
to
I
say,
think I think there's
I
more
think it's
immature
unfair.
Hold on, he
18-year-olds.
wasn't finished.
I think it's unfair to have an 18-year-old be able to vote and to be able to go to war for this country, but can't own a firearm. And to some degree, it's wrong for them to be able to go to war, vote, and not be able to drink. However, I think the argument of, you know what, them being able to drink, they should have to wait to that mature age of 21 because the thought process is different.
That's exactly my point.
But yes, but more kids at 18, if you allow them to drink, would drink and drive than are going to go buy a fucking gun.
But the current issue is the gun purchases.
The current issue is the kid that bought the gun doing that devastating act.
Yeah.
It's not the gun.
No. I
Oh, you just said that. You just said that it was.
No. Subject on guns is what we're talking about.
Right.
We're not talking about teenage drunk driving. It's I just guns.
Well, how can you
Okay,
bring
but-
up seatbelts and I can't bring up drunk driving? It's the same shit. So what I'm saying is at 18, I wouldn't have bought it. I never bought a gun. At 18, you didn't buy a gun, right?
Right.
Did you drive drunk at 18? That's why they raised it to 21. And that's the difference between buying a gun and being drunk.
Okay. Why is that again? Why did they raise it from 18 to 21? You just said it.
Because more kids are going to drive drunk
Okay.
at 18 than are going to go out and buy a gun and mow somebody down.
Okay. Good. But now that we have kids at 18 buying guns and taking multiple innocent lives, it's something we need to focus on. And as teenage drunk driving was focused on and they raised it to 21, maybe we should focus on this and say, yeah, let's give this a try.
But I don't think taking that away from other 18-year-olds that have bought a gun and haven't mowed other people down
And
is
same
not.
with
Hold on, I'm
18-year-olds
not
that
done
don't-
talking. I let you speak. Stop talking over me. So if we allow, we can't keep moving the mark. Because all we're doing is adding extra laws that half the time we don't fucking enforce anyways. Right? If they enforce the laws that were on the books now with people that go out and commit crimes, we wouldn't have this fucking issue. Because there's so many laws on the book about guns and when you use them and when blah, 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 blah. But then by the time they get to fucking court, and they plead out their case, they plead out mental insanity, they plead out, oh, well, I didn't use my gun until he came out with one. Well, motherfucker, it was my house. Yeah, I came out with a gun. What are you talking about? So, it's really easy to say, oh, well, we just need to change this. But that's not fair to all the people that aren't committing that crime. You're talking about a minimal percentage of people that purchase guns that are going to do that. Yes, heinous crime. Yes, never, ever should have happened. Never want to see anything like that happen to children. However, you cannot punish the rest of the world for what a minute amount of people are doing. Good night, Sally.
May I?
Please.
Without interruption.
I haven't interrupted you once.
Of course. And I hope that you don't until I finish.
Good job, fellas.
I want to thank you because at one point during that speech you just gave, you proved my point, which is a small amount of 18-year-olds were drunk driving and taking lives. So they did raise the age to 21, even though these 18-year-olds were still allowed to vote and join the army. It was decided that in regards to drinking and driving or drinking, it's raised to 21. Now,
I think.
No,
Hold on.
No. You can't. No, I stopped. I
Go.
Okay.
Go.
Now, I think with what's going on now, just like teenage drinking, they should say, you know what? Sorry, citizens of the United States, But what we're going to do is we're going to raise the level to purchase a firearm to 21. And we're going to hopefully get that to work to stop this from happening. So, again, your point was they raised it to 21 for teenagers drinking. I'm just saying that's correct. They should have done that just like they should do this. Thank you, Mingo, for proving my point. Good night, Sally.
No, you're incorrect. And I'll tell you why. Because
You said it.
Without interruption, I'm
right.
sorry.
Without interruption.
I have to step in.
So
Wait.
So you said a minute amount or a small amount of kids were drinking and driving. And I think you're full of shit, and I'll tell you why. The difference is that we have the internet now. When that law was changed, there wasn't anybody filming and putting things on the internet, so you couldn't see all the times that it happened. I think that was a massive issue. Kids drinking and driving, and there was a lot of it happening here. So you comparing that to what happened in Texas, you're off your rocker. You cannot compare the amount of kids that drove drunk and killed themselves and other people as to what happened there. They're two totally different things.
You're correct. I can't compare them.
That's what you're doing.
No.
That's exactly what you're doing.
I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying
That's what you're using to validate what you're talking about.
Actually, what I said was, you said we had a situation with teenage drinking. America had a situation with teenage drinking, and it was decided to raise the age to 21.
Right.
I believe you might not.
And I said that there was a minute.
That's fine. But I believe we now have an issue with teenage, and when I say teenage, 18 to 20, purchasing firearms and committing these acts.
I think you're wrong.
There's no 18-year-olds to 20 committing these acts?
That's not what I'm saying.
What
I'm saying is, but you said there are a lot of 18-year-olds and between 18 to 20.
Okay,
hold on, I'm talking.
Okay.
Between 18 and 20 that are buying these guns and committing these crimes. That's not true.
Okay, fine. There is one 18-year-old in America.
Don't look at me. I'm not helping you for shit.
That purchased a firearm. One person that purchased a firearm at the age of 18 and mowed down 19 school kids. And because of that one person, one rotten apple ruined the bunch. Because of that one person doing that to 19 innocent kids, I think we should raise the limit. How's that?
How old was the kid at Sandy Hook?
I don't remember.
So I'm not again.
That's fine. I mean, you have your way of thinking and what you think. And yes, again, let me reiterate: absolutely a heinous crime. Never should have happened. I wish I could go and hug every parent that lost a child that day, because there's nothing worse than a crime against an innocent child. And I get that, but I think your approach is ill thought out, and I think that there's a better solution than doing that. And I think part of that would be getting psychological evaluations for people that are getting guns. I think that's where you start. I think because it's not going to be just for kids it's not just for people that are 18. It covers the gamut of anybody that's buying a gun.
And that is,
and I think that would be better served.
Yeah. And with that being said, I think that's the cost in that. Who's going to regulate that? There's way too much ground to cover in order to accomplish that. Whereas my solution might not be the best, but it's something that we could do right now.
I honestly believe that neither one of those would work.
But either one is at least a step forward.
Either one, well, it may be a step back.
Yeah.
Was that?
It could be a step back. We don't know.
But it's something.
I say we start by implementing and following the gun rules that we have already. and making sure that we follow through and don't let the bullshit slip through the cracks. People have figured out how to use the justice system in their favor and have figured out all the loopholes, and they have all these shithead lawyers that are out there that make a shit ton of money getting these people off on this shit. And that starts the problem as well. So there's a lot of fucking kinks in the chain that they got to get fucking fixed before making any drastic changes like that. Like, you got to really sit back and okay, what is the fucking problem? You know what I mean? And we're not going to solve it tonight.
We're not doing that on this show.
Yeah, we're not going to solve it tonight.
We're not going to solve it. That would take too long.
Because we don't even know what all the fucking chinks are.
I'm sorry, the what?
The chinks on the chain?
Kinks.
No, it's chinks.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's kinks.
No, it's chinks. It comes from back when they were doing sword fighting and they would hit the shield and it would cause a chink. It's called a chink in the chain.
That's called onomatopoeia.
Yeah, I got a P too. All right, any final words, Sebastian?
Hold on, I'm looking this up. A chink is
it's a
narrow...
chink in the armor.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a narrow opening or crack, typically one that admits light. A patch of light admitted by a narrow opening or crack.
Chink in the chain. Chink in the armor. Any final words?
No. I'm
Tony?
fucking floored by everybody tonight.
My cousin Deborah, she's celebrating her birthday this weekend, this Saturday actually. Happy
Deborah.
birthday, Deborah. That's it.
Just one?
Yeah, slow
That's
month
it?
so far.
Slow month. All right, cool deal. Hey, guys, thank you so much for listening. We love you. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. Peace.